She was standing in the bathroom doorway, backlit by the vanity lights, fixing an earring I'd never seen before. Silver, dangly, expensive looking. The kind of thing you don't wear to book club or girls' night at Applebee's. "I'm going out tonight," Amanda said. Not asked. Said. I was sitting on the edge of our bed, untying my work boots. 12-hour shift at the Riverside Commerce Center, mostly dealing with a busted HVAC unit on the 4th floor and a loading dock door that kept jamming. My back hurt. My feet hurt. I smelled like industrial cleaner and old building. "Going out?" I repeated. "Yeah. Denise invited a few of us. Cocktails at that new place downtown." She was looking at herself in the mirror, not at me, adjusting her hair. She'd done something different with it. Curled it, maybe. It looked good. I couldn't remember the last time she'd curled her hair for me. "Which new place?" "I don't know, Trevor. The one with the patio. The Instagram one." She said it like I was supposed to know, like everyone just automatically knows which bar has the good Instagram lighting. "How many people are going?" I asked. "I don't know. 5 or 6, maybe. Why does it matter?" "Just asking." She turned from the mirror, irritation flashing across her face. "Are we really going to do this? Are you going to interrogate me about a simple night out with friends?" "I'm not interrogating you. I asked one question." "It feels like an interrogation." I pulled off my first boot, set it carefully by the bed. When did asking who's going somewhere become an interrogation? When you ask it in that tone. What tone? That tone? The suspicious tone? The tone that says you don't trust me? I looked up at her. "Do I have a reason not to trust you?" Her face changed. Something flickered there. Guilt, maybe, or anger at being caught feeling guilty. "That's not fair." "It's a simple question, Amanda." "No, it's not. It's a loaded question. You're implying something." "I'm not implying anything. I'm asking directly. Do I have a reason not to trust you?" She grabbed her lipstick from the counter, applied it with quick, angry movements. "You're being ridiculous. I'm going out with friends. That's it. That's all it is." "Then answer the question." "I don't have to answer anything. This is insane." She capped the lipstick, dropped it in her purse. "I thought we were past this. I thought you were over your jealousy issues." "I don't have jealousy issues. You're acting like you do." "I'm acting like a husband who notices when his wife starts dressing up for strangers." "I'm not dressing up for strangers. I'm dressing up for myself." "Right. You know what? I don't need your permission, Trevor. I'm going out. You can either be supportive or you can sit here and sulk. Your choice." I pulled off my second boot and set it next to the first one. Lined them up neat. That's what you do when you work facilities. You line things up, you make things neat. You notice when things are out of place. "When's the last time we went out?" I asked. "Just you and me?" She paused. Thought about it. "I don't know. A few weeks ago." "Try 3 months. We went to your coworker's birthday party. Before that, it was 6 months." "So what, you're keeping score now?" "No, I'm just pointing out that you have plenty of time to go out with friends I've never met, but no time to go out with your husband." "Maybe if you weren't working all the time." "I work to pay our bills. You know that." "And I appreciate it. But you act like you're the only one who works hard. I have a job too." "I know you do." "Then why do you make me feel guilty for having a life outside this apartment?" "I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to understand what's happening to us." She sighed. Loud, exasperated sigh. "Nothing is happening to us. You're being paranoid." "Am I?" "Yes, you are. And honestly, it's exhausting. I can't even go out with friends without you turning it into some big relationship crisis." I stood up, walked past her into the bathroom, started washing my hands. The sink was full of her makeup brushes, cotton pads, that face cream she orders online that costs $47. I know because I saw the credit card statement. "What time will you be back?" She sighed. Actually sighed. "I don't know. 11? Midnight? It's Friday, Trevor." It was Friday. I'd worked a double. She'd gotten off at 5. "Okay," I said. She turned then. Finally looked at me. "Okay?" "Yeah, okay." Something flickered across her face. Confusion, maybe, or disappointment. Like she'd been expecting a different reaction. Like she'd been ready for a fight, and I just refused to show up to the arena. "I'll probably be late," she said again. Testing. I stood up, walked past her into the bathroom, started washing my hands. The sink was full of her makeup brushes, cotton pads, that face cream she orders online that costs $47. I know because I saw the credit card statement. "Trevor?" I looked at her reflection in the mirror. "Is there a problem?" she asked. I dried my hands on the towel. The good towel, not the one I'm supposed to use when I'm dirty from work. I did it on purpose. Some small, petty rebellion. "No problem," I said. "You're going out. Have fun." She stared at me. I could see her brain working, trying to figure out what I was doing, whether this was some kind of trap. "I will," she said finally. I walked back into the bedroom. She followed me. "You're being weird," she said. "I'm tired." "You're always tired." "I work for a living." I said it before I could stop myself. She worked too, but different. Day shift, clean hands, climate control, office birthday cakes and casual Fridays. "What's that supposed to mean?" I sat back down on the bed, looked at her, really looked at her. The new earrings, the curled hair, the perfume I could smell from 6 feet away, the dress that wasn't quite short but wasn't quite long either, the heels she only wore to weddings. "Nothing," I said. "It means nothing." She grabbed her purse from the dresser. Designer, Coach, or Michael Kors, or one of those. I couldn't tell them apart. This one was new too, or at least I'd never seen it before. "I'll have my phone if you need anything," she said. "Sure." She walked to the bedroom door, stopped, turned back. "Trevor? Yeah? Are you mad at me?" I thought about that question. Really thought about it. Was I mad? I wasn't sure. I was something. But mad wasn't quite the right word. Mad was hot and explosive and immediate. What I felt was colder than that. Heavier. "No," I said. "I'm not mad." "Then what's wrong?" "Everything," I wanted to say. "Everything is wrong." But I didn't say that. Instead, I said something else. Something I hadn't planned to say. Something that just came out, like my mouth had made a decision without consulting my brain. "If you go," I said quietly, "don't come back." The words hung in the air between us. I could see her processing them, deciding if I meant it, deciding if she cared. "Are you serious right now?" She laughed. Actually laughed. "You're giving me an ultimatum? About going out with my friends?" "I'm not giving you anything," I said. "I'm just telling you. You walk out that door right now, dressed like that, lying to me about where you're going and who you're with. You can stay gone." Her face changed. The amusement disappeared. What replaced it was something harder, meaner. "You don't own me, Trevor." "I know. I can go wherever I want." "I know that too." "This is insane. You're being insane." I didn't say anything, just looked at her. She shook her head. "Fine. You know what? Fine. I'm leaving. And I'm not going to stand here and be interrogated like some teenager sneaking out past curfew. I'm a grown woman. I'm going out. And if you can't handle that, that's your problem, not mine." She walked out. I heard her heels on the hardwood floor, heard the jingle of her keys, heard the front door open. Then she stopped. I couldn't see her, but I could feel her hesitation. Could imagine her standing there, hand on the doorknob, deciding. "Last chance," I said, loud enough for her to hear. For maybe 10 seconds, nothing happened. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. Then I heard the door close. She left. I sat there on the bed for a long time. Didn't move, didn't turn on the TV, didn't get up for a beer, just sat. At some point I realized I'd known this was coming. Not tonight, specifically. But something like this. You don't live with someone for 8 years without noticing the changes. The little shifts, the slow drift. She used to wait up for me when I worked late. Used to text me during the day, stupid stuff, memes and jokes and thinking of you messages. Used to kiss me goodbye in the morning even when she was running late. All of that had stopped. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when. It was gradual, like watching something fade in the sun. You don't notice it day by day. But one day you look and realize the color is gone. I'd told myself it was normal. Marriage stuff, the honeymoon phase ending, life getting in the way, work stress, all the things people say when they don't want to face the truth. But tonight, sitting there in our bedroom, smelling her perfume still hanging in the air, I faced it. My wife was going to meet another man. I didn't have proof, didn't have texts or photos or any of that. I just knew. The same way you know when you walk into a building and something feels wrong even before you find the problem. The same way you know a machine is about to fail before it actually does. You pay attention, you notice patterns, you trust your instincts, and my instincts were screaming. I stood up, walked to the window. Our apartment was on the 3rd floor, and from here I could see the parking lot. I watched Amanda walk to her car, watched her get in, watched the brake lights come on as she backed out. She didn't look up at the window, didn't hesitate, just drove away. I could have called her, could have texted, could have run after her. Some part of me expected to feel that surge of panic, that desperate need to fix it, to take it back, but I didn't feel any of that. What I felt was clarity. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt completely, perfectly clear. If she came back, I knew what that meant. It meant she'd chosen me, chosen us, chosen to stop whatever she was doing and fix this. And if she didn't come back, well, that told me everything I needed to know too. I left the bedroom, went to the kitchen, made myself a sandwich, turkey, cheese, mustard, lettuce, ate it standing at the counter, drank a glass of water, rinsed the plate and put it in the dishwasher. Normal things. Calm things. Then I went to my laptop, the old Dell I used for work emails and managing our building access systems. Opened up a blank document, and I started making a list. She came home at 3:47 a.m., I know because I was awake. Sitting in the living room in the dark, in the recliner that used to be my dad's. I wasn't waiting for her. Not exactly. I just wasn't sleeping. I heard her key in the lock. Heard her trying to be quiet. Heard her stumble a little in the entryway, probably taking off those heels. The light in the kitchen flicked on. I heard the refrigerator open, close, the faucet running. She was getting water, sobering up, preparing whatever story she'd decided on. I didn't move, didn't call out, just sat there in the dark living room, watching the light spill in from the kitchen. After a few minutes, the light went off. I heard her walking down the hall, heard her stop outside the living room. "Trevor?" whispered. Cautious. I didn't answer. She took a step into the room. I could hear her breathing, could feel her trying to decide whether to turn on a light or just leave me there. "I know you're awake," she said quietly. I still didn't respond. "Are you seriously going to give me the silent treatment?" Silence. "This is childish, Trevor." More silence. She stood there for maybe 30 seconds. Then she kept walking. Bedroom door closed softly. I stayed in the chair until the sun came up, watching the darkness fade to gray, then to that pale morning light that makes everything look tired. My phone buzzed around 6:30, text from my supervisor. "Can you come in early? Emergency with the sprinkler system." I texted back, "Be there in 45. Around 7, I got up, showered, got dressed for work. It was Saturday, but I'd picked up another shift anyway, double time on weekends, and anyway, I didn't want to be here. When I came out of the bathroom, Amanda was standing in the hallway, still in her dress from last night. Makeup smeared, hair messy. "You're leaving?" she asked. "Work emergency." "On a Saturday?" "Sprinkler system problem. Flooding on the second floor. Trevor, we need to talk." "Talk about what?" "About last night, about you being weird." "I'm not being weird. I'm going to work." I grabbed my keys from the hook. "You're mad at me." "I'm not mad." "Then why won't you look at me?" I looked at her then, really looked at her. She looked tired, guilty, worried. "What do you want me to say, Amanda?" "I want you to say something. Anything. You gave me that ultimatum last night, and then when I came home, you just sat in the dark like some kind of ghost. It's creepy. You came home at almost 4 in the morning, from cocktails that started at 8. That's 8 hours, Amanda, 8 hours. We lost track of time." "Right. We did. We were having fun, and—" "I don't care." I said it calmly, flatly. "I really don't care." Her face changed. "What do you mean you don't care?" "I mean exactly that. You went out. You stayed out late. You came home. Now I'm going to work. That's it." "That's it? That's it? So we're just not going to talk about this?" "What's there to talk about? You made your choice last night. You walked out that door when I told you not to. So now we're here." "Here where?" I opened the front door. "I'll be home late. Don't wait up." "Trevor." I left. Closed the door behind me. Heard her call my name again, but I didn't go back. Amanda was still asleep when I left. Or pretending to be. Either way, I didn't wake her. I worked 10 hours that day. Fixed a broken toilet in the second-floor women's room. Replaced 3 fluorescent bulbs in the main corridor. Updated the access codes on the executive suite doors. Normal stuff. When I got home that evening, she was in the kitchen. She'd cooked dinner, chicken something. The apartment smelled good. She'd cleaned too. I could tell because the throw pillows on the couch were arranged the way she liked them, and the magazines on the coffee table were stacked neat instead of scattered. "Hey," she said when I walked in. A bright voice. Fake voice. "I made dinner." I set my keys on the hook by the door, took off my boots. "You hungry?" she asked. "Sure." We sat at the table. She'd set it properly. Plates, napkins, glasses of water. We usually just ate on the couch watching TV. "How was work?" she asked. "Fine. Busy?" "Normal." She took a bite of chicken, chewed, swallowed. "This came out pretty good, I think. I used that recipe from Pinterest, the one with the lemon and thyme." I ate. "It was good. I didn't say so." "I also vacuumed," she said, "and did the laundry, and cleaned the bathroom. I know you've been saying the grout needed scrubbing." "Thanks. And I picked up that protein powder you like, the vanilla one. They had it on sale at the store." "Thanks." She set down her fork. "Trevor, come on." "Come on what?" "You're doing it again. The one-word answers. The cold shoulder." "I'm eating dinner. You cooked. I'm eating it." "You're being passive-aggressive." "I'm being quiet. There's a difference." "Why are you being quiet?" "Because I don't have anything to say." "You always have something to say." I looked up at her. "Do I? Because lately when I try to say things, you tell me I'm being paranoid or jealous or ridiculous. So maybe I'm just tired of talking." She picked up her water glass, took a sip, set it down carefully. "Trevor." "Yeah?" "About last night," she started. "What about it?" I think we should talk." "Okay." She waited for me to say more. I didn't. "You were really harsh," she said finally. "What you said before I left." "Was I?" "You gave me an ultimatum." "Did I?" "Don't do that." "Do what?" "That. The thing where you answer every question with a question. Where you act like you don't know what I'm talking about. It's passive-aggressive." I set down my fork. Looked at her directly. "You want to know what's passive-aggressive? Coming home at 4 in the morning and pretending nothing happened, cooking dinner and acting like we're fine. That's passive-aggressive. I told you where I was going." "You told me a lie." "It wasn't Amanda." I kept my voice level, calm. "Let's not do this. Let's not insult each other's intelligence." She stared at me. I saw something flicker in her eyes. Maybe fear, maybe respect. Hard to tell. "I was with Denise," she said. "Okay." "We were at Lumiere, the bar downtown." "Okay." "You can call her if you don't believe me." "I'm not going to call Denise." "Then why are you acting like I'm lying?" I picked up my fork again. Took another bite. She was lying. I knew she was lying. But I wasn't going to chase her in circles trying to prove it. That's what she wanted. An argument, drama, something she could use to justify whatever she was doing. I wasn't giving her that. "If you say you were with Denise, then you were with Denise," I said. She looked confused again. That same expression from last night, like I was playing a game she didn't know the rules to. "So we're good?" she asked. "Are we?" "Trevor, come on. I don't want to fight." "We're not fighting." "Then what is this?" "This is dinner," I said. "You cooked, I'm eating. We're sitting here like married people." "You're being weird again." "You keep saying that." "Because it's true. You're acting strange. Different." I finished my chicken, drank some water, stood up and took my plate to the sink. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Living room. Thought I'd watch the game." "What game?" "College football, Syracuse and Pittsburgh." "Since when do you watch college football?" "Since tonight, I guess." I left her sitting there, went to the living room, turned on the TV, found the game, sat down in the recliner. She came in about 10 minutes later, sat on the couch, picked up her phone, started scrolling. We stayed like that for 2 hours, not talking, not fighting, just existing in the same space like two people who happened to be in the same waiting room. The thing was, I didn't care about the game, didn't even know who was winning. I was watching her. Not obviously, not in a way she'd notice, but I was paying attention. She checked her phone constantly, every 2 or 3 minutes, typing something, deleting it, typing something else. Her face would change depending on what she was reading. Sometimes she'd smile, small, private smiles, the kind you don't mean anyone else to see. Around 10, she stood up. "I'm going to bed," she said. "Okay. Are you coming?" "Eventually." She hesitated. "Trevor?" "Yeah?" "Are we okay?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. She was pretty. I'd always thought so. That's what had attracted me first, 8 years ago at that party neither of us really wanted to be at. She'd been sitting on a porch rail, drinking a beer, looking bored. I'd made some dumb joke about the music. She'd laughed. Real laugh, not a polite one. I'd fallen for that laugh. "We're whatever you want us to be," I said. It wasn't an answer, but it was all I had. She went to bed. I stayed up until midnight, then went to the bedroom. She was asleep or pretending again. I got in on my side, stayed on my side. Didn't reach for her, didn't say goodnight. Just lay there in the dark, listening to her breathe. The thing about working facilities management is you learn how buildings work, how systems connect, how to trace problems back to their source. You learn that most failures don't happen suddenly, they happen slowly. One small malfunction leading to another, compounding until finally something breaks completely. Marriages are the same way. Lying there in the dark, I started tracing backward, looking for the point where things started to go wrong. It wasn't last night. That was just the breaking point. The moment when everything that had been cracking finally shattered. It was earlier, months earlier, maybe longer. I thought about the times she'd worked late, the new gym membership she'd gotten in March, the way she'd started doing her hair different, dressing better, smiling at her phone. I thought about the way she'd stopped asking about my day, stopped caring what I thought about things, stopped noticing when I was tired or stressed or hurting. I thought about the distance that had grown between us. Not physical distance. We were still here, in the same bed, same apartment, same life. But it was like we were in two different buildings connected only by a thin, fragile bridge. And now that bridge was cracking, I could try to repair it, could go to her right now, wake her up, have the hard conversation, ask the hard questions, demand the truth. But what would that accomplish? If she was seeing someone else, making her admit it wouldn't change anything, she'd already made her choice. Already decided I wasn't enough? Or maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe she really had been with Denise. Maybe the new earrings and the curled hair and the late night were all innocent, but my instincts said otherwise, and I'd learned to trust my instincts. I didn't fall asleep until almost 3. When I did, I dreamed about empty buildings, long hallways with all the lights off, doors that wouldn't open no matter how hard I pulled. Sunday morning, I woke up before Amanda, slipped out of bed without waking her, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. I opened that document I'd started Friday night, the blank one I'd titled Patterns. Then I started writing everything down. Not emotions, not feelings, facts, dates, times, observations. But first, I needed context. I scrolled back through our shared calendar, our credit card statements, my own memories. Built a timeline. January. Normal. Amanda's routine predictable. Work 9 to 5:30, home by 6, gym twice a week in our building. We'd make dinner together, watch shows, go to bed together. Weekends were grocery shopping, cleaning, sometimes a movie, boring, comfortable, married. February. Subtle shifts. She started staying up later. Just reading, she'd say. Started checking her phone more. When I'd glance over, she'd tilt the screen away, started mentioning Denise. Denise said the funniest thing today. I'd never met Denise. When I asked to, Amanda would say, "You'd be bored. We just talk about work stuff." February 14th. Valentine's Day. I made reservations at her favorite Italian place. She canceled them, said she had a migraine. We stayed home. She went to bed early. I remember thinking it was strange, but not alarming. People get migraines. February 28th. She asked if we could stop sharing our phone locations, said it felt controlling. I'd suggested we share them years ago for safety. She'd thought it was sweet. Now it was controlling. I said fine. We turned it off. March hit and everything accelerated. March 12th. Amanda joins Fitness First Gym. Downtown location, 20 minutes from her office, 30 from our apartment. We have a perfectly good gym in our building. Free. When I asked why the switch, she said, "Better equipment, more variety. I need a change." I didn't argue. March 15th. First mention of a trainer. Casual over breakfast. I'm thinking of getting some training sessions. My shoulder's been bothering me. Need to learn proper form. March 20th. First, late night at work. Gets home at 9:47 p.m. Says they're preparing for end-of-quarter reports. I'd made spaghetti. It was cold by the time she got home. She ate it anyway, scrolling through her phone the whole time. March 27th. Second late night. 10:13 p.m. Same excuse. When I asked if her company always worked people this hard, she snapped at me. It's called being ambitious, Trevor. Some of us want to move up. April 3. Buys new workout clothes, expensive ones. Lululemon. Credit card charge, $247. She'd never spent more than $50 on gym clothes before. When the bill came, she saw me looking at it and said, "I deserve to treat myself sometimes." April 8th. Hair appointment. New color, new style. Comes home blonde instead of light brown. Highlights. Professional job. Probably cost $300. She looks different. Younger. I tell her it's nice. She barely responds, just goes straight to the mirror to check it from different angles. April 15th. Starts leaving for work 15 minutes earlier. Trying to beat traffic, she says. But our commute times don't change between 7:30 and 7:15. I checked. April 26th. Gets her hair cut and colored. Comes home blonde instead of light brown. I tell her it looks nice. She says, "Thanks, I'm trying something new." April 28th. I notice she's doing her makeup differently. More of it. Better quality products. The bathroom counter looks like a department store cosmetics section. May 1, late night number 6. 11:04 p.m. New excuse this time. Client dinner ran long. She works in internal communications. I've never known her to have client dinners. May 8th. New perfume. Victoria's Secret. Expensive bottle. She says her mom sent it for her birthday. Her birthday's in January. When I point this out, she gets defensive. She sent it late. Why are you interrogating me about perfume? May 15th. Starts sleeping on her side of the bed. Back to me. We used to fall asleep facing each other. Now there's a line down the middle of the mattress like the Berlin Wall. May 23rd. Find new lingerie in the closet. Black lace. Red silk. Still has tags on it. I've never seen her wear any of it. When I mention it casually, she says, "Can't I buy myself nice things without you making it weird?" I kept going. Page after page. Every detail, every charge, every change in behavior, every lie I'd let slide because I didn't want to believe what I was seeing. When I was done, I had 6 pages of single-spaced notes. I sat back and read through them. A pattern emerged, clear as day. Starting in mid-March, Amanda's behavior had shifted, not dramatically, not in any single way that would have been obvious, but cumulatively, looking at it all together, the picture was unmistakable. She was having an affair, or building up to one, or in the middle of one. Either way, there was someone else. Now I needed to figure out who. I thought about the gym. That seemed like the logical place to start. New gym membership, new workout clothes, leaving early, coming home late. Gyms were where people met, where relationships started under the cover of just working out. Fitness First downtown. I pulled up their website on my laptop. Typical commercial gym. Weights, cardio machines, group classes. They had personal trainers. Maybe she'd hired one. Maybe that's who it was. I clicked through to their staff page. 5 trainers. 4 men, 1 woman. I studied the men's photos. 3 of them looked young. Mid-20s, probably. The 4th was older, maybe 40. Decent looking. Professional photo, professional smile. His name was Eric Donnelly. Certified personal trainer, nutrition specialist, former college athlete. The bio said he'd played baseball at Clemson before a shoulder injury ended his prospects. Now he helped everyday people achieve extraordinary results. I stared at his photo. Was this him? Was this the guy? Maybe. Maybe not. I needed more information. I closed the laptop, poured another cup of coffee, thought about my next move. The smart thing would be to hire a private investigator, someone professional, someone who knew how to follow people without being noticed, how to document evidence, how to do this right. But private investigators were expensive, and I didn't want anyone else involved. Didn't want this to become some procedural thing with reports and photographs and bills. I wanted to handle it myself. I heard movement from the bedroom. Amanda was awake. I closed the laptop, put it away. By the time she came into the kitchen, I was reading the news on my phone, looking like I'd been up for hours doing nothing in particular. "Morning," she said. Cautious voice, testing voice. "Morning. Coffee smells good. Just made it." She poured herself a cup, added cream and sugar, stirred it slowly like she was trying to figure out what to say. "You're up early," she said. "Couldn't sleep? Bad dreams? Something like that?" She leaned against the counter, watching me. "Trevor, about yesterday, about our conversation." "What about it?" "I feel like things are really tense between us." "Are they?" "You know they are, and I don't understand why. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around you." I looked up from my phone. "You feel like you're walking on eggshells?" "Yes. Interesting." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Just interesting that you feel that way." She set down her coffee mug harder than necessary. "See, that? Right there. That's what I'm talking about. You're being cryptic, saying things that sound normal but somehow feel like attacks." "I'm not attacking you." "Then what are you doing?" I'm having coffee, reading the news, existing. You're punishing me. For what? I don't know. For going out Friday night? For having friends? For having a life? You're free to have whatever life you want, Amanda. But you're going to make me feel guilty about it. I'm not making you feel anything. If you feel guilty, that's on you. Her face flushed. This is exactly what I mean. You twist everything. You make me sound like I'm the bad guy when all I did was go out with friends. What do you want from me? I asked, keeping my voice level. I want you to talk to me. Really talk to me. Not this passive-aggressive thing you're doing. Okay, let's talk. What are you doing today? She blinked, surprised by the subject change. I don't know. Maybe go to the gym. I've been slacking this week. There it was. The gym. Which gym do you go to again? Fitness First. The one downtown. Why? Just curious. How is it? Worth the money? She looked surprised that I was asking. It's good. Better equipment than the one downstairs? What kind of stuff do you do there? Mostly weights now, some cardio. By yourself? Usually. She sipped her coffee. Casual. Too casual. I hired a trainer for a few sessions to learn proper form. Trainer, huh? That's smart. They expensive? Kind of, but worth it. What's his name? I asked. Kept my tone curious, not suspicious. Maybe I should get some sessions. My back's been hurting lately. For just a second, maybe half a second, she froze. Then she smiled. Casual smile, easy smile, practiced. Eric Donnelly. But he's pretty booked up. It took me weeks to get on his schedule. How many sessions have you had with him? I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, I'm not keeping count. And it's helping? Your shoulder? She paused. My shoulder. Yeah. You said that's why you got the trainer, because your shoulder was bothering you. Right, yeah. It's helping. He's really knowledgeable. I'll bet. She studied my face, trying to read me. Why are you asking all these questions about my gym? Just making conversation. You said you wanted me to talk to you, so I'm talking. It feels like you're digging. Digging for what? I don't know. Something. You tell me. I shrugged. I'm not digging for anything. You go to a gym, you have a trainer. I'm asking about it. That's normal spousal interest. Except it doesn't feel normal. It feels like you're trying to catch me in something. Do you have something to be caught in? Her mouth opened, closed. She stared at me. I can't do this right now. Do what? This. Whatever interrogation this is. I asked about your gym routine. That's not an interrogation. The way you're asking is... She grabbed her coffee mug. I'm going to shower. She walked away. I heard the bathroom door close. Heard the lock click. She finished her coffee. Set the mug in the sink. I'm going to shower. Okay. She left. I heard the bathroom door close. Heard the water start. Eric Donnelly. I picked up my phone. Opened Instagram. Searched for his name. Found him immediately. His profile was public. Fitness posts, motivational quotes, before and after photos of clients. The usual stuff. I scrolled through his feed. He posted almost daily. Gym selfies, protein shake recipes, videos of exercises with detailed instructions. Then I found something else. A post from 3 weeks ago. Photo of him at some outdoor restaurant. Smiling, holding a beer, sunset in the background. Caption, perfect Friday evening. Good company, good food, good vibes. He was tagged. I clicked the tag. The other person in the photo was partially cropped out. Just an arm, a shoulder, blonde hair. Blonde hair. Amanda had been blonde for exactly 2 months. I zoomed in on the photo, looked at the arm. The person was wearing a bracelet. Silver chain, small charm hanging from it. I knew that bracelet. I'd bought it for Amanda 3 years ago for our anniversary. My hand was shaking. I set the phone down, breathed. This wasn't proof. Not really. Could be someone else. Could be a coincidence. Could be nothing. But it wasn't nothing. I picked up the phone again, went back to Eric's profile, started scrolling backwards, looking at every photo, every caption, every tag. I found 4 more posts with Amanda in them. Never her face, always just parts. An arm, a hand. Once, the back of her head at what looked like a movie theater. Smart, careful, not quite hiding it, but not advertising it either. The most recent one was from 2 days ago, Thursday. Photo of Eric at a restaurant table. Nice place. White tablecloths, candles. Caption, celebrating midweek victories with someone special. In the background, blurry but visible, was a woman in a dark green dress. Amanda had a dark green dress. I'd watched her pack it in her overnight bag back in June when she'd gone to visit her sister in Richmond. Except I was pretty sure now she hadn't gone to Richmond. The shower turned off. I closed Instagram, opened a random news article, and pretended to read it. Amanda came out 10 minutes later, hair wrapped in a towel, skin flushed from the hot water. "I'm going to head to the gym around noon," she said. "Want to come with?" It was a test, I could tell. "Nah," I said. "Told you, got errands to run. Maybe next time?" She nodded, looked relieved. "Okay." She went back to the bedroom to get dressed. I stayed at the table, thinking, planning. I had a name now. Eric Donnelly, personal trainer, former athlete, good-looking in that generic gym rat way. I had evidence, circumstantial, but evidence. Instagram photos, timeline matches. Opportunity. What I didn't have was a confrontation strategy. I could burst into the gym right now, make a scene, yell at him, yell at her, demand answers, burn it all down in a spectacular public display. But that was emotional. That was reactive. That was what she'd expect. And I was done being predictable. Instead, I was going to do what I did at work. I was going to assess the situation, identify the problem, develop a solution, execute it methodically. No drama, no yelling, no begging, just cold, calculated action. Amanda left for the gym at noon, like she said. I watched from the window as she drove away. Then I went to the bedroom, to her side of the closet. I wasn't snooping. Not really. I was investigating. Her clothes were organized by type. Dresses, blouses, pants, workout gear. Everything neat and color-coded. That was Amanda. Organized, controlled. I looked at the new stuff. The things that had appeared in the last few months. The workout clothes, the going-out dresses, the shoes. A lot of new shoes. In the back of the closet, behind her winter coats, I found a bag. Shopping bag from some boutique downtown. Inside were clothes I'd never seen her wear. Lingerie, expensive stuff, black lace, or red silk. I stood there holding a black lace thing that definitely wasn't meant for me. My hands weren't shaking anymore. They were steady, calm. I took photos of everything, the clothes, the tags, the receipt that was still in the bag, dated April 23rd. Then I put it all back exactly how I'd found it. Went back to the kitchen, made myself a sandwich, sat down with my laptop again. Added everything to my document, every detail, every piece of evidence, every data point. When I was done, I had a complete picture. Timeline started mid-March. Probably became physical sometime in April. Location. Primarily the gym, but also restaurants, probably hotels, maybe his place or somewhere else I hadn't figured out yet. Frequency. At least twice a week, possibly more. Method. She was using work as a cover some of the time, using the gym as cover other times, using girls' night as cover when necessary, current status, ongoing, active, escalating. She thought I didn't know, thought I was oblivious, thought I was the typical clueless husband who didn't notice when his wife checked out of the marriage. She was wrong. I knew everything. Well, almost everything. What I didn't know yet was what I was going to do about it. Monday morning, I went to work like normal. Amanda left before me, said something about an early meeting. I watched her drive away, then got in my truck and headed downtown. But I didn't go to the Riverside Commerce Center. Not right away. I went to Fitness First. It opened at 5 a.m. I got there at 5:43. Parked across the street where I could see the entrance. Waited. The sunrise was coming up behind the building, pink and orange streaking across the sky. Beautiful morning. The kind of morning where everything feels possible. I sat in my truck with a coffee from the gas station. Watched the door. People started arriving. Early morning regulars. A woman in her 50s, determined expression. A young guy, headphones in, already moving to whatever music was pumping in his ears. An older couple who parked next to each other and walked in together, holding hands. At 6:02, Eric Donnelly showed up. Drove a black Jeep Wrangler, custom wheels, lift kit. One of those vehicles that screamed, "I'm still cool." He parked in the back lot where the staff parked. Got out carrying a duffel bag and a coffee cup the size of a small bucket. He looked exactly like his photos. Tall, maybe 6'2", muscular but not overly so, tank top showing off his arms. That casual confidence of someone who'd never had to work very hard for anything. Square jaw, perfect teeth, expensive sunglasses pushed up on his head even though the sun was barely up. The kind of guy who probably peaked in college and was desperately trying to hold on to it. I hated him instantly, but hate wasn't useful. Hate made you sloppy. I watched him pause at his Jeep, check his phone, smile at something, type a response. Probably texting my wife, probably making plans for when they'd see each other next. He went inside. I watched the lights come on in the gym through the big front windows. Watched early morning people start trickling in, dedicated folks. The 5 a.m. crowd who worked out before work, before life got in the way. I stayed there for 45 minutes, timing things, noting patterns. How many people came in, how many staff members, whether anyone paid attention to the parking lot. Nobody did. Everyone was focused on themselves, on their workouts, on their phones, on their own little worlds. At 6:47, I left, drove to my actual job, clocked in at 7:15. My supervisor gave me a nod. "Elevator in Building C is acting up again," he said. "I'll take care of it." I spent the day fixing the elevator. It was the door sensor. Simple problem. 30-minute fix that I stretched into 3 hours because I needed time to think. Normal day, normal work, except I wasn't thinking about the elevator or the sensor. I was thinking about Eric Donnelly, about his routine, his schedule, his life, his weaknesses. Everyone has weaknesses. You just have to know where to look. During my lunch break, I drove past the Riverside Lofts. Nice complex, modern, probably built in the last 10 years. Parking garage, controlled access, security cameras at the entrance. But security cameras are only as good as the people monitoring them. And most places like this, nobody monitors them unless something goes wrong. They just record, store footage, overwrite it every 30 days. I drove around the block, noted the exits, the blind spots, the patterns. After work, I drove back downtown. Different approach this time. Parked 2 blocks away from the gym and changed into regular clothes in my truck. Jeans, plain t-shirt, baseball cap. Looked like any other guy in the city. Walked past Fitness First like I was just some guy out for an evening stroll. Through the big front windows, I could see inside. Rows of treadmills, weight racks, people working out. And there, in the back near the free weights, was Eric, working with a client. Some older guy who was struggling through bench presses while Eric stood over him, counting reps, offering encouragement. "Come on, Jerry, 3 more. You got this. Push." Professional, friendly, trustworthy. The kind of guy who'd have no problem convincing a married woman that what they were doing wasn't really wrong. Just following their hearts. Just finding happiness. All the things people tell themselves when they're doing something they know is wrong, but want permission to keep doing it anyway. I kept walking, circled the block, came back from the other direction. The gym had a back entrance, staff entrance, led to the parking lot where Eric's Jeep was parked. There was a camera above the door, but it was pointed at the door itself, not at the lot. The lot was poorly lit. 3 overhead lights, but one was burned out. Had probably been burned out for months. That's how it goes with commercial properties. Maintenance gets lazy. Things stop working. Nobody notices until it's a bigger problem. I filed that information away, got back in my truck, drove home. That night at home, Amanda was cheerful. Too cheerful. Overcompensating. Made pasta for dinner, homemade sauce, garlic bread, salad, the whole production. "How was your day?" she asked brightly when I came through the door. Kissed me on the cheek, first time in weeks. "Long. How was yours?" "Good. Productive. We finished that big project I was telling you about." She hadn't told me about any project, but I didn't correct her. "That's great." "Yeah, my boss was really pleased, said I might be up for a promotion next quarter." "You deserve it." She smiled, genuine smile, or maybe just a good fake. Hard to tell anymore. We ate dinner. She talked about work, about her coworkers, about some drama in her department. I listened, asked questions, played the role of interested husband. After dinner, we watched a movie on the couch. Some romantic comedy she picked, something with a quirky female lead and a handsome love interest who was emotionally unavailable until the 3rd act, when he finally realized what he'd been missing the whole time. She fell asleep halfway through, head on my shoulder. I stayed still until the credits rolled, then gently moved her arm and got up. "Come to bed," she mumbled, half asleep. "In a minute. Gotta check my email. Work stuff." She shuffled off to the bedroom. I went to my laptop. But I wasn't checking work email. I was researching Eric Donnelly. I found his Facebook, also public, lots of photos. Gym stuff mostly, but also personal things. Photos with friends, photos at bars, photos from a vacation in Florida last year. I found his address. He'd tagged himself at home a few months ago in a post about his new patio furniture. The geotag showed the exact location. An apartment complex about 3 miles from the gym. The Riverside Lofts, trendy place, exposed brick, industrial design, the kind of apartments that called themselves lofts, to justify charging $3,000 a month. I pulled up his Instagram again, looked at his story. He'd posted something 4 hours ago. Video of himself at the gym, demonstrating some exercise. Caption, "Evening hustle, let's get it." I checked the timestamp. Posted at 6:47 p.m. Then I looked at Amanda's phone. She'd left it on the kitchen counter while she went to bed. I picked it up, knew her passcode, had known it for years. She'd never changed it. Opened her messages, nothing suspicious. Conversations with her mom, with Denise, with some coworkers. All normal, all boring. I opened her Instagram messages. Same thing, nothing suspicious. But that didn't mean anything. She was probably using a different app. Snapchat, maybe. Or one of those encrypted ones. Something I wouldn't think to check. I put her phone back exactly where she'd left it. Went to the bedroom. She was already asleep. I got in bed. Stared at the ceiling. I needed to make a move. Some small thing. Some test. See how they reacted. See what they were really made of. The thing about facilities management is you learn how fragile systems are. How easy it is to disrupt them. You flip one breaker and suddenly an entire floor goes dark. You close one valve and water stops flowing to half a building. Small action, big consequence. I just needed to find the right valve to close. The next day I called in sick. Told my supervisor I had food poisoning. He believed me because I never called in sick. Never took personal days. I was the reliable one. The guy who showed up no matter what. I spent the morning watching the gym from my car, learning patterns, counting how many trainers worked there, how many staff members, what time each of them arrived and left. Eric got there at 6 a.m., left at 6 p.m., 12-hour shift. That was a long day. He probably took breaks. Lunch break somewhere in the middle. At 12:37 p.m., he came out the back door. Still in his gym clothes, got in his Jeep, drove 3 blocks to a sandwich shop, went inside. I followed on foot. He ordered at the counter. Turkey club, chips, large fountain drink, paid with his card, took his food to a table by the window, pulled out his phone, started scrolling and eating. I stood outside, across the street, partially hidden by a parked delivery truck. Watched him. He looked happy, content, laughing at something on his phone. Probably a meme, probably a message from my wife. After 20 minutes, he finished eating, threw away his trash, walked back to his Jeep. I was already back at my car when he pulled into the gym parking lot. That night I made my first move. It was small, subtle, the kind of thing that could have been an accident. Eric's Jeep had one of those soft tops. Canvas. The kind you can unzip, and the back window was held on with velvet strips. Around 11 p.m., I drove to his apartment complex, parked in guest parking, walked through the lot like I belonged there, found his Jeep, black Wrangler, license plate DFD 472L1. Same one. The parking lot had cameras, but they were the cheap dome kind, low resolution, probably not even recording, just there for deterrent. I walked up to the Jeep, casual, like I was checking something, pulled out my keys, dragged the pointed end along the driver's side door. Not hard, just enough to leave a thin scratch, maybe 6 inches long. Then I walked away, got back in my truck, drove home. Amanda was asleep when I got there. I brushed my teeth, got in bed, slept better than I had in months. Wednesday morning, Eric posted on his Instagram story. Photo of the scratch on his Jeep door. Caption, "Seriously? Who does this? Have some respect, people." 23 people replied with sympathetic comments. Amanda was one of them. She wrote, "That's awful. Some people are so careless." Careless. Right. It was a test. A small one. I wanted to see how he reacted to pressure, to inconvenience, to something going wrong in his perfect little life. And he'd reacted exactly how I expected. With annoyance, with indignation, with a social media post seeking validation. He was soft, sheltered, someone who'd never had real problems. That was good to know, because I was about to give him real problems. Thursday night, Amanda told me she was going out with Denise again. Girls' night. Probably be late. I didn't argue, just said okay, told her to have fun. She looked surprised, maybe disappointed that I wasn't putting up a fight. "Really?" she said. "You're okay with it? Why wouldn't I be?" "I don't know. Last time you were, you know?" "Last time was different." "How?" I shrugged. "I was tired. Bad day. Took it out on you. My fault." She stared at me, trying to figure out if this was another trap, waiting for the other shoe to drop. "So we're good?" she asked cautiously. "We're good." She smiled, relieved. "Okay, great. I'll probably be back around midnight." Take your time. Have fun. Tell Denise I said hi. That last part made her flinch, just slightly, just for a second. But I saw it. I will, she said. She spent an hour getting ready. I watched TV in the living room, listened to her moving around in the bedroom, the closet opening and closing, drawers sliding, the bathroom fan running, the sound of her hairdryer. When she came out, she looked good. Better than good. Red dress. Not too short, not too long. Classy. Her hair perfect. Makeup professional level. The perfume I could smell from across the room. How do I look? She asked. Beautiful. She smiled. Real smile this time. Or maybe she was just that good at faking it. Thanks, don't wait up. I won't. She grabbed her purse. Her keys, checked her phone. Okay, I'm off. Drive safe. I will. She paused at the door, turned back. Trevor? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For not making this difficult, for trusting me. I nodded, didn't say what I was thinking. That trust wasn't the same as permission, that sometimes you give people enough rope to see what they'll do with it. Have fun, I said instead. She left at 7:30. I waited until 8, gave her time to get wherever she was going. Then I got in my truck and drove downtown. Not to the gym this time, to Elevation Lounge, upscale place, craft cocktails, exposed brick walls, Edison bulbs hanging from the ceiling, reclaimed wood bar top, the kind of bar that charged $17 for old-fashioned and called it artisanal. I'd seen it tagged in one of Eric's posts from last month. Best old-fashioned in the city, he'd written. The post had 43 likes and 7 comments, all agreeing or saying they needed to try it. I parked down the street, not right in front, not in the main lot, on a side street where my truck would blend in with the other vehicles. Walked to the bar. It was busy. Thursday night crowd, young professionals unwinding after work, first dates trying too hard, friend groups laughing too loud, everyone performing their version of having a good time. I found a seat at the bar. The bartender was a woman in her 30s. Tattoos on both arms, nose ring, professional smile. What can I get you? She asked. Beer, whatever's local. We've got a great IPA from Riverside Brewing. That's fine. She poured it. Set it in front of me. $8. I paid cash. Left a reasonable tip. Not too much, not too little. Nothing memorable. I positioned myself where I could see the door in the mirror behind the bar. Kept my head down. Looked like another guy having a quiet drink alone. Nothing suspicious. Nothing worth noticing. At 8:47, Amanda walked in. She wasn't with Denise. She was with Eric. They came in together. Comfortable, like they'd done this before. Eric had his hand on the small of her back, guiding her, protecting her. That casual possessiveness that says this is mine. They didn't see me. Why would they? They weren't looking for me. As far as Amanda knew, I was home watching TV. As far as Eric knew, I didn't exist. They sat at a table in the back corner. The kind of table that was semi-private, that gave the illusion of intimacy while still being in public. Romantic lighting, candle on the table, plush bench seating. Amanda's back was to me. Eric was facing my direction, but he didn't notice me. Why would he? I was just another guy at a bar, nobody important, nobody threatening. I watched them, nursing my beer, acting natural, checking my phone occasionally like I was waiting for a text, playing the part of uninteresting stranger. They were comfortable with each other. That was the first thing I noticed. The way they sat, leaning in, laughing, touching each other's hands across the table, her foot probably touching his under the table. These weren't two people in the early stages of an affair. This was established, routine, familiar. How many times had they done this? How many girls' nights had actually been nights with him? How many late work nights? How many gym sessions that weren't really gym sessions? A server came over to their table. Young guy, probably working his way through college. Eric ordered without looking at the menu. Confident. The woman leaned forward, said something to Amanda. Amanda laughed, nodded. The server wrote it down and left. The bartender came back. Another? She asked, pointing at my beer. Sure, thanks. She poured another. I kept watching in the mirror. Amanda was animated, smiling, touching her hair. That thing women do when they're attracted to someone. Unconscious gesture, primping, presenting, the way she used to be with me. Back when we first met, when everything was new and exciting and full of possibility. Eric was attentive, nodding, making her laugh, reaching across the table to touch her hand, holding eye contact, playing the part of the perfect boyfriend, the guy who listens, who cares, who makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. Their drinks came, something dark for Eric, something pink and garnished with fruit for Amanda. They raised their glasses, toasted, drank, smiled at each other like they were sharing some private joke. I wanted to walk over there, wanted to flip the table, wanted to grab Eric by his expensive shirt and throw him through the window. But I didn't. They stayed for an hour and a half, had 3 drinks each, split some appetizer I couldn't see from where I was sitting. At 10:19, they paid the bill, got up, left together. I waited 30 seconds, then followed. They walked 2 blocks, holding hands, like a regular couple out for a regular evening, like they had nothing to hide. They stopped at Eric's Jeep. He'd parked on a side street. Smart. Less visible than the main road. They stood by the passenger door, talking, then kissing, not a quick kiss, a long one, the kind that says this isn't the first time. I was across the street, in the shadows between 2 buildings, watching. After a minute, they separated. Amanda said something, laughed, got in her car, which was parked 2 spaces behind his Jeep. Eric watched her drive away. Then he got in his Jeep, sat there for a moment, looking at his phone, probably texting her already. Then he drove off. I walked back to my truck, sat in the driver's seat, didn't start the engine. I wasn't angry, that was the strange part. I thought I would be. Thought seeing them together would make me want to scream or cry or put my fist through something, but I didn't feel any of that. I felt cold, focused, like a machine that had just been given its target coordinates. I drove home. Amanda got there 20 minutes after me, came in smiling, smelling like perfume and cocktails. "How was girls' night?" I asked. I was on the couch, TV on, looking relaxed. "Good. Really good. We went to that new wine bar, the one Denise has been talking about." "Wine bar. Nice. You have fun?" "Yeah, we needed it. Work has been so crazy lately." "I bet." She went to the bedroom, changed into pajamas, came back out, sat next to me on the couch. "What are you watching?" she asked. "Some documentary. About buildings. Pretty boring, actually." She put her head on my shoulder. "You're such a nerd." "Guilty." We sat like that for a while. Her head on my shoulder, my arm around her, like everything was normal, like she hadn't just spent 2 hours with another man, like we weren't living in a marriage that was already gone. "Trevor," she said softly. "Yeah? I love you." 3 words, simple words. Words people say without thinking. Words that used to mean everything. "Love you too," I said. She fell asleep like that, curled up against me. I stayed still until I was sure she was fully asleep. Then I gently moved her, covered her with a blanket, turned off the TV, went to my laptop, added everything to my document, the bar, the timeline, the kiss, the lie about Denise and the wine bar. Then I opened a new document, titled it Plan, started writing. The next morning was Friday. Amanda left early for work, said she had meetings all morning. I told her I'd probably work late, maybe grab dinner with some guys from work. Neither of us was telling the truth. I went to work, put in 4 hours, then told my supervisor I needed to leave early, family emergency. He didn't ask questions. I drove to the Riverside Lofts, Eric's apartment complex, parked in guest parking again. This time I went inside the building, walked through the lobby like I belonged there, checked the directory board, Eric Donnelly, Unit 312, 3rd floor, north side of the building based on the unit number. I took the stairs, walked down the 3rd floor hallway, found his door, stood there for a second, listening. Nothing. He was at work. Wouldn't be home for hours. I walked back downstairs, out to the parking lot, looked up at the 3rd floor, counted windows, figured out which one was his. Then I went back to my truck, sat there, thinking. I needed leverage, something that would hurt him, not physically. That was too simple, too direct, too illegal. I needed to hurt his reputation, his business, his comfortable little life, the gym. That was his livelihood, his identity. Take that away, and what did he have? A scratch Jeep and an apartment he probably couldn't afford without steady work. But how do you damage someone's reputation at a gym? Bad reviews? Too obvious? Too easy to trace? No. It had to be something more subtle, more permanent. I needed to make him uncomfortable, make him scared, make him realize that messing with other people's lives had consequences. That night, I made my second move. I waited until 11 p.m., drove back to the Riverside Lofts. This time, I brought supplies. Super glue, the industrial kind, the kind we used at work for quick repairs. Eric's Jeep was in his usual spot. I walked up to it. Casual, calm, like I was just another resident coming home late. I squeezed super glue into his driver's side door lock. Not a lot, just enough to make the key not work, just enough to ruin his morning. Then I did the same thing to his passenger side lock. Walked away, got in my truck, drove home. Saturday morning, Eric posted another Instagram story, video this time, him standing next to his Jeep, clearly frustrated. Caption, "Are you kidding me right now? Lock is jammed, can't get in my own car. This week needs to be over." Amanda commented, "That's so frustrating. Hope you can get it fixed." I liked her comment. Let her see that I'd seen it. Let her wonder why I was scrolling through Instagram at 9 in the morning on a Saturday. She didn't say anything, but I saw her watching me, trying to figure out if I suspected anything. I smiled at her. "What?" "Nothing. You just seem, I don't know, different lately." "Different how?" "I can't explain it. Just different." "Maybe I'm finally relaxing. Stopped worrying so much about stuff." "Maybe." But she didn't believe it. I could tell. Good. Let her wonder. Let her worry. Let her start to feel what I'd been feeling for months. That creeping sense that something was wrong, but you couldn't quite figure out what. That was just the beginning. By Sunday, I'd refined my plan. It was simple, really. 3 objectives. 1, make Eric uncomfortable, make him paranoid, make him feel watched. 2, force Amanda to choose, not with an ultimatum, not with a fight, just through pressure, through circumstance. 3, do it all without breaking any serious laws, without leaving evidence, without giving them any way to fight back. The scratch and the lockjam were small things, annoyances, but they set the tone, showed that someone was paying attention. Someone knew something. Now I needed to escalate. Sunday afternoon, I drove past Fitness First, checked out the parking lot. The staff spots were in the back, like I'd noticed before. Eric's Jeep wasn't there. He didn't work Sundays. I parked, walked around to the front. The gym was open, but not busy. Sunday afternoon was dead time. Most people were recovering from their weekends. The serious gym rats worked out early mornings, not mid-afternoon. I walked in. The guy at the front desk looked about 19. Bored expression, scrolling on his phone. "Help you?" he asked without looking up. "Yeah, thinking about joining. Wanted to check out the facilities." "Cool, you want a tour?" "Nah, I'm good. Just want to look around if that's okay." He shrugged. "Sure. Let me know if you have questions." I walked through the gym, noted the layout. Cardio machines near the front, weights in the middle, group fitness rooms in the back, men's and women's locker rooms on the far side. Near the weight area was a bulletin board, staff photos, names, specialties. Eric's photo was right in the center, biggest smile, most professional looking. Eric Donnelly, senior trainer, specializing in strength training, athletic performance, lifestyle transformation. I took a photo of the board with my phone. Then I kept walking, checked out the locker rooms, noted the emergency exits, the security cameras, the blind spots. After 15 minutes, I left, thanked the kid at the desk. He barely looked up. That night, I created a fake email account, used a generic name, John Miller, set up a profile using a stock photo of some random guy I found online, mid-30s, decent looking, believable. Then I sent an email to the gym's general inquiry address. Subject, concern about staff member. "Hello, I'm a member of Fitness First, and I've noticed some concerning behavior from one of your trainers. I've seen Eric Donnelly getting very close with several female clients, touching them inappropriately during training sessions, making uncomfortable comments. I'm not sure if this is part of his training style or if it crosses professional boundaries, but I thought you should be aware. I'd rather not make a formal complaint, but felt this should be brought to your attention. Thank you, John M." I didn't send it right away. Saved it as a draft. Wanted to time it right. Monday morning, Amanda left for work at her normal time. She seemed tense, distracted, kept checking her phone at breakfast. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, fine. Just work stuff." "Busy week ahead?" "Probably. End-of-month reports are due Friday." She gulped down the rest of her coffee. "I might have to work late a couple nights this week." "Sure. Whatever you need to do." She studied my face, looking for something. Suspicion, maybe. Anger. But I kept my expression neutral. Supportive husband. "Well, let me know if you need anything," I said. She looked at me, really looked at me, like she was trying to figure out what game I was playing. "Thanks, I will." "Want me to make dinner tonight? I can do that pasta you like." "Maybe. I'll text you later and let you know." After she left, I went to work. Spent the morning dealing with a broken door hinge on the second floor. Routine stuff. The kind of work I could do on autopilot while my brain worked on other things. Like how to dismantle someone's life piece by piece. Around noon, my phone buzzed. Text from Amanda. Working late tonight. Probably won't be home until 9. I stared at the message. 9 p.m. on a Monday. Sure, I texted back. No problem. Want me to save you some dinner? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. No thanks. I'll grab something here. Of course she would. Okay, don't work too hard. I won't. Love you. She'd never say love you in a text before noon. That was new. Guilt, maybe, or covering her tracks. Love you too. I put my phone away, finished fixing the hinge, tested it 3 times to make sure it was solid. Perfect. That's how I did everything. Thorough. Complete. Then I clocked out at 3, told my supervisor I had a dentist appointment. He didn't question it. I never took time off, so when I did, nobody asked questions. Drove home, changed clothes, dark jeans, dark jacket, baseball cap pulled low, nothing flashy, nothing memorable, the kind of outfit you forget the second you stop looking at it. Then I drove to the Riverside Lofts. Eric's Jeep was gone. He'd be at work until 6. That gave me time. The parking garage had cameras, but they were the cheap kind, the kind that recorded in grainy black and white and probably didn't even work half the time, just security theater to make residents feel safe. I walked into the building like I belonged there. Confident stride, no hesitation. People don't question you if you act like you have a reason to be somewhere. The lobby was empty. Just a fake plant in the corner and a bulletin board with community announcements. Yoga class on Tuesdays, wine tasting social next Friday, someone selling a couch. I took the stairs to the 3rd floor, walked down the hall to unit 312, stood outside his door, listened, nothing. Just the hum of air conditioning and distant music from another apartment. I pulled out my phone, called the apartment complex office. Riverside Lofts, this is Jennifer. I deepened my voice slightly, made it more casual. Hey Jennifer, this is Eric Donnelly in 312. I locked myself out. Any chance someone can let me back in? Oh no. Yeah, let me send someone up. Give us about 10 minutes? Perfect, thanks so much. No problem, happens all the time. I hung up, walked back down to the lobby, waited near the mailboxes, checked my phone, scrolled through nothing. Another resident wasting time. 12 minutes later, a maintenance guy showed up. Older guy, maybe 60. Looked tired, the kind of tired that comes from years of fixing other people's problems, carrying a master key ring that probably opened every door in the complex. You the lockout? He asked. Yeah, 312. Thanks for coming up. No problem. Happens all the time. He started toward the elevator. I followed. We rode up in silence. He didn't ask for ID. Didn't ask any questions. Why would he? People lock themselves out. It happens. That's why he has the keys. We got to 312. He unlocked the door with practiced ease. Held it open. You're all set, he said. Thanks, man. I owe you one. Don't worry about it. Have a good day. He left. Headed back to the elevator. I waited until I heard it start moving. Then I stepped inside Eric's apartment, closed the door behind me, stood there for a second, just breathing, taking it in. It was exactly what I expected. Modern furniture, minimalist design, everything clean and organized like a magazine photo, black leather couch, glass coffee table, flat screen TV mounted on the wall, weights in the corner, kettlebells, resistance bands, a foam roller. The place smelled like cologne and laundry detergent, that fake fresh scent that comes from those plug-ins you buy at the grocery store. I didn't touch anything, not yet. Just walked through, looking, learning, building a mental map. Kitchen was small but functional, granite countertops, stainless appliances, protein powder containers lined up on the counter like soldiers. 6 different kinds. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, pre-workout, post-workout, whatever. Meal prep containers in the fridge. 6 of them, all the same. Chicken, rice, broccoli, the bodybuilder special. Lived his whole life on a schedule. Routines, discipline. That was good to know. Disciplined people hate chaos. Bedroom was simple. King bed, navy comforter pulled tight, military corners, nightstand with a lamp and a charging station, 3 cords plugged in. Phone, watch, earbuds. Closet was organized. Gym clothes on one side, regular clothes on the other, shoes lined up on the floor, nothing out of place. I checked the bathroom. Standard bachelor stuff. Toothbrush, electric razor, hair product, 3 different kinds of cologne on the counter. The medicine cabinet had basic things: ibuprofen, allergy medicine, vitamins, melatonin for sleep. Nothing interesting, nothing useful. Just the life of a 30-something guy trying to stay relevant. Back in the living room, I found his laptop. It was closed, sitting on the coffee table next to a fitness magazine. I didn't try to open it, didn't need to. I wasn't here for evidence. I already had evidence. I was here to understand him, to see how he lived, to find his weaknesses, to learn what mattered to him. On the kitchen counter was a stack of mail. Bills, mostly. I flipped through them without picking them up. Can't leave fingerprints, can't disturb anything. Electric bill, $143, water bill, $62, gym insurance renewal, $200 a month. Then I found something interesting, credit card statement from Chase. The balance was visible through the envelope window, $4,347. He had credit card problems, living above his means, spending money he didn't have, probably on clothes and bars and impressing women who weren't his. That was useful information. Money problems make people desperate. Desperate people make mistakes. I checked my watch. I'd been inside for 9 minutes. Time to go. I left the apartment, made sure the door locked behind me, took the stairs down, walked out to my truck. I drove home like nothing had happened. That evening, I sent the email to the gym, the one about Eric's inappropriate behavior. Then I waited. Tuesday morning, Eric posted on Instagram. Not his usual motivational stuff. This one was different. Photo of himself looking serious. Caption: sometimes people try to tear you down when you are building something great. Stay focused, stay professional. The truth always comes out. Interesting. My email had hit a nerve. Wednesday morning, I was at work when Amanda called. "Hey," she said, voice tight. "What's up? Can you talk?" "Yeah, give me a sec." I walked away from the elevator I was working on. Found an empty office. "Okay, what's going on?" "Nothing. I mean, probably nothing. Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Have you been checking my phone?" My heart rate didn't change. "No." "Why would I check your phone?" "I don't know. Things just feel weird lately. You've been acting strange. And I keep getting this feeling like, I don't know, like you're watching me or something." "Amanda, I'm not watching you. I go to work. I come home. That's it." "You're sure?" "I'm sure. Is something going on?" She was quiet for a long moment. "No, sorry. I'm just stressed. Work stuff. Forget I said anything." "You sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll see you tonight." She hung up. I stood there in the empty office, smiling. She was scared, starting to crack, starting to wonder if her perfect little secret was as secret as she thought. Good. That night when I got home, Amanda was already there. She'd cooked dinner again. Lasagna. Set the table nicely. Even opened a bottle of wine. "What's the occasion?" I asked. "No occasion. Just wanted to do something nice." We ate. She asked about my day, told me about hers. All surface-level stuff. Safe topics. But she kept watching me, studying my face, looking for something. After dinner, we sat on the couch. She poured more wine, moved closer to me. "Trevor?" "Yeah?" "Do you love me?" The question surprised me. Not because she asked, but because of how she asked. Like she genuinely didn't know the answer. "Of course I do," I said. "Do you, though? Really?" "Why are you asking me this?" She looked down at her wine glass. "I feel like we've been distant lately, like something's changed between us." "Something has changed." She looked up. "What do you mean?" "You've changed. You're different. You've been different for months." "I haven't changed." "Amanda, come on. You're never here anymore. When you are here, you're on your phone. You work late constantly. You go out with friends I've never met. You bought a whole new wardrobe. You joined a gym downtown instead of using the one in our building. So you have been paying attention." "Of course I've been paying attention. You're my wife." She stood up, paced to the window. "I joined a gym because I wanted to get in shape. I bought new clothes because I was tired of my old ones. I work late because my job is demanding. None of that means anything." "Doesn't it? What are you accusing me of?" "I'm not accusing you of anything. You asked if I love you. I said yes. Then you asked why things feel different. I told you." "So this is my fault? Whatever tension is between us, it's on me?" "I didn't say that." "Yes, you did. You just listed everything you think I'm doing wrong." I stood up, walked over to her, looked her in the eye. "Amanda, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm answering your questions. You wanted to know if I love you. I do. You wanted to know why things feel different. I told you. If you don't like the answer, that's not on me." She stared at me. For a second I thought she might cry, or yell, or confess everything. Instead she said, "I'm going to bed." "Okay, She walked away. Bedroom door closed, not slammed, just closed, firm. I stood there in the living room, finished my wine, then I pulled out my phone, checked Eric's Instagram. He'd posted another story, video of himself at the gym, lifting weights, looking intense. Caption: "When life tries to knock you down, lift heavier." I almost laughed. This guy thought he was dealing with life, with abstract challenges, with vague problems. He had no idea what was coming. Thursday, I made my next move. I created another fake email, different name this time, Sarah Thompson, another generic profile, another stock photo. This email went to the Better Business Bureau. Subject: complaint about Fitness First, unprofessional conduct. I was a member of Fitness First downtown and had a very negative experience with one of their trainers, Eric Donnelly. He made repeated inappropriate advances toward me during training sessions. When I stopped responding to his messages, he became hostile. I canceled my membership, but I believe other women may be experiencing the same thing. This gym needs to better supervise their staff. Again, I saved it as a draft. Didn't send it yet. Friday morning, Amanda didn't go to work. Said she was taking a personal day, needed to handle some things. "What things?" I asked. "Just errands, appointments, boring stuff." "Want company?" "No, I'm fine. You go to work. I'll be here when you get home." I left, but I didn't go to work. I called in, told them I was feeling sick, taking a sick day. Then I drove to a coffee shop 2 blocks from Fitness First, parked where I could see the entrance, waited. At 11:22 a.m., Amanda's car pulled into the gym parking lot. She went inside, stayed for 43 minutes, came out wearing workout clothes but not looking sweaty. She hadn't gone there to work out. She stood by her car, checking her phone, waiting. 2 minutes later, Eric came out. They talked. He looked upset. She looked worried. He gestured a lot. She touched his arm, tried to calm him down. They talked for maybe 5 minutes. Then she got in her car and left. He stood there watching her drive away. Then he pulled out his phone, stared at it, looked angry. I watched all of this from the coffee shop window. After Eric went back inside, I drove home. Amanda got there 30 minutes after me. "How were your errands?" I asked. "Fine, just boring stuff, like I said." "What did you do?" "Grocery store, post office, got my car washed." "Car looks good." "Thanks." She went to the bedroom, changed clothes, came back out. "What do you want for dinner?" she asked. "Whatever you want." She nodded, started pulling things out of the refrigerator. I sat at the kitchen table, watched her. She moved mechanically, efficiently, but her hands were shaking slightly. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, why?" "You seem nervous." "I'm not nervous, just tired." "Okay." We ate dinner in silence. She kept checking her phone. I kept pretending not to notice. After dinner, I went to the living room. She followed, sat next to me on the couch. "Trevor?" "Yeah?" "If I did something bad, would you forgive me?" I looked at her. "Depends what it is." "I'm serious." "So am I. Would I forgive you for forgetting to pay a bill? Sure. Would I forgive you for something that fundamentally destroyed our marriage? That's a different question." She looked away. "That's not fair." "What's not fair?" "Putting conditions on forgiveness. Either you can forgive or you can't." "That's not how forgiveness works. You can forgive someone and still not stay with them." She stood up. "I can't do this right now." "Do what?" "This. Whatever this is. These conversations where you say things that sound reasonable but somehow make me feel like a villain." "Amanda, I'm going for a walk." She grabbed her keys and left. I stayed on the couch, calm, centered. She was cracking, getting close to the breaking point. I could feel it. I just needed to push a little harder. That night I sent both emails, the one to the gym, the one to the Better Business Bureau. Then I sent one more, this one to the apartment complex management. Subject: noise complaint. Hi, I'm a resident in Building C, and there's been consistent loud noise coming from Unit 312 late at night. Music, voices, what sounds like parties. It's been going on for weeks and making it hard to sleep. Can someone follow up? Thanks. 3 complaints, 3 different angles. Nothing major on its own. But together they painted a picture, a pattern. Eric Donnelly was becoming a problem. Amanda came back an hour later. She'd been crying. I could tell even though she'd tried to hide it. Red eyes, blotchy skin. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just needed some air." "Okay." She went straight to bed. I stayed up, working on my laptop, adding more notes to my document, planning the next phase. Everything was proceeding exactly as I'd calculated. Soon I'd force the confrontation. Soon they'd have to choose. And soon I'd show them both what happens when you underestimate the quiet guy who fixes buildings and pays attention to details. Soon. I checked my watch. I'd been inside Eric's apartment for 9 minutes. Time to go. I took one last look around, memorized the layout, the furniture placement, the way he lived, the vulnerabilities. Everyone has patterns. Everyone has routines. And routines create opportunities. I left everything exactly as I'd found it. Didn't touch anything I didn't have to. Didn't leave fingerprints. Didn't disturb the careful order he'd created. Made sure the door locked behind me. Took the stairs down instead of the elevator. Less chance of running into someone who might remember me later. Walked out to my truck like I had every right to be there. Like I was just another resident. Another person living another life in this building full of people living their own lives. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. That's the thing about modern life. Everyone's so focused on themselves, on their phones, on their own problems, that they don't see what's happening right in front of them. I drove home like nothing had happened, obeyed the speed limit, used my turn signals, stopped at yellow lights. Model citizen. That evening, I sat down with my laptop, opened a new email draft, took my time crafting it, made it sound genuine, concerned but not hysterical, professional but worried. The fake email account was already set up. John Miller, generic name, random stock photo from the internet. Middle-aged white guy with glasses. Could be anyone. Could be no one. I typed carefully. Subject, concern about staff member. Hello, I'm a member of Fitness First, and I've noticed some concerning behavior from one of your trainers. I've seen Eric Donnelly getting very close with several female clients, touching them inappropriately during training sessions, making uncomfortable comments. I'm not sure if this is part of his training style or if it crosses professional boundaries, but I thought you should be aware. I'd rather not make a formal complaint, but felt this should be brought to your attention. Thank you, John M. I read it 3 times. Made sure it sounded believable. Not too specific, that would seem fake. Not too vague, that would be dismissed. Just enough detail to plant a seed of doubt. Just enough concern to make management take notice. Then I sent it to the gym's general inquiry address. The message showed as delivered. No bounce back, no error. It had gone through. Phase 1 complete. After that, I made dinner. Normal dinner. Heated up leftover chicken from yesterday. Made a salad with lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers. Poured myself a glass of water. Ate in front of the TV watching some documentary about architecture. About how they built the Empire State Building, the engineering, the logistics, the 1,000 small decisions that add up to something bigger. Normal evening, normal life. Like I hadn't just set something in motion that would change everything. Amanda came home at 9:23 p.m., not 9 like she'd said. 23 minutes late. I noticed but didn't comment. Just noted it mentally. Added it to the list of lies. The catalog of small betrayals. Hey, she said. Tired voice. Or fake tired voice. Hard to tell anymore. Hey, how was work? Exhausting. These reports are going to destroy me this week. She set her purse on the counter, kicked off her heels, rubbed her feet through her stockings. I swear, corporate is trying to bury us with paperwork. Sounds rough. It is. You eat? Yeah, grabbed something from the vending machine. Vending machine, right. Because that's definitely where she'd been for 9 hours. Not at some restaurant with Eric, not in his apartment. Not anywhere but work. You should shower and get to bed then. You look tired. She looked at me. Surprised maybe that I wasn't pressing for details, wasn't asking questions, wasn't demanding to know exactly where she'd been and what she'd done. Yeah, I think I will. She picked up her purse, started toward the bedroom, stopped. Trevor? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For just being normal tonight. For not making things weird. Why would I make things weird? She smiled, tired smile, relieved smile. I don't know. Things have just been tense lately. It's nice to have a normal evening. Yeah, it is. She went to the bedroom. I heard the shower start 5 minutes later. Heard the water running for 20 minutes. Longer than usual. She was probably washing off evidence. His cologne, his touch, the guilt. When she came out, she sat next to me on the couch. Wet hair, pajamas, smelling like soap and shampoo and coconut body lotion. Clean, presentable, like she'd scrubbed away all the secrets. What are you watching? She asked. Building documentary. That's so you, she smiled. Picked up her phone. Started scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or wherever people go when they don't want to engage with the person sitting next to them. I watched her out of the corner of my eye. She was smiling at something. Small smile, private smile. The kind of smile that says you're thinking about someone who makes you happy. Something funny? I asked. What? No, just work meme someone sent. She kept scrolling. Didn't offer to show me. Can I see? She hesitated. Just for a second. Just long enough to be noticeable. It's stupid. You wouldn't get it. Inside joke from our department. Try me. Trevor, it's really not that funny. You had to be there. Okay. She put her phone face down on the couch cushion. Like that wasn't suspicious at all. Like people do that all the time when they have nothing to hide. We sat there in silence for maybe 10 minutes. The documentary droned on about steel beams and construction techniques. Amanda scrolled through her phone with the screen tilted away from me. Then her phone buzzed. She grabbed it fast. Read whatever message had come through. Her face changed. Softened. She typed a response. Put it back down. 2 minutes later, it buzzed again. Same routine. Grab, read, type, put down. Little smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Popular tonight, I said casually. What? Your phone. A lot of messages. Oh, yeah. Group chat with work people. They're all complaining about the reports. Everyone's stressed. At 9:30 at night? We're all working late this week. I told you. End of quarter stuff. It's chaos. Right. You did tell me that. Her phone buzzed a third time. She didn't grab it this time. Just let it sit there, vibrating against the couch cushion, making that annoying buzzing sound that meant someone really wanted her attention. You going to get that? I asked. It's probably nothing important. Might be your boss. You know, about those reports you're all stressing about. Trevor, what's your problem? I don't have a problem, just saying if it's work-related, you should probably check it. Wouldn't want to miss something important? She grabbed the phone, looked at the screen. Her face changed. Something flickered there. Concern, maybe. Or guilt. Or the realization that whoever was texting wasn't going to stop. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, fine. Just someone asking about tomorrow's meeting. What meeting? Status meeting. For the reports. We have one every morning this week to track progress. Sounds intense? It is. Her phone buzzed again. She silenced it this time. Turned it over so the screen was face down. I'm going to bed. Okay, I'll be in soon. You staying up? Little bit. Want to finish this documentary. They're about to start on the top floors. That's the interesting part. She stood up. Hesitated. Looked like she wanted to say something but couldn't figure out how. Trevor? Yeah? Are you okay? You've been acting strange lately. Strange how? I don't know. Different. Quiet. Like you're always thinking about something, but you won't tell me what. I am thinking about something. What? Work stuff. Building problems. HVAC systems. Electrical issues. The usual. Is that all? I looked at her. Really looked at her. She looked worried. Genuinely worried. Or maybe she was just getting better at the act. Better at pretending she cared. Better at playing the role of concerned wife. What else would it be? I asked. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Shook her head like she'd thought better of whatever she was going to say. Nothing. Never mind. Good night. Good night? She went to the bedroom. I heard the door close. Not quite a slam, but close. The sound of someone who's frustrated but trying not to show it. I stayed on the couch until midnight. Watched the rest of the documentary, then checked my email. Nothing yet from the gym. But I hadn't expected an immediate response. These things take time. Complaints get filed. Management discusses. Maybe they investigate. Maybe they don't. But either way, Eric would hear about it. And that's what mattered. Tuesday morning, Eric posted on Instagram. Not his usual motivational stuff. This one was different. Photo of himself looking serious. Professional headshot. Caption. Sometimes people try to tear you down when you're building something great. Stay focused. Stay professional. The truth always comes out. I read it 3 times. My email had hit a nerve. Good. I liked his post. Let him see that someone named Trevor Patterson had engaged with his content. Not my real full name, but close enough to make someone paranoid start wondering. Then I went to work. Wednesday morning, I was fixing a thermostat on the 4th floor when Amanda called. Hey, she said, voice tight, strained. What's up? Can you talk? Oh, yeah, give me a sec. I walked away from the thermostat, found an empty conference room, closed the door. Okay, what's going on? Nothing. I mean, probably nothing. Can I ask you something? Sure. Have you been checking my phone? My heart rate didn't change. My breathing stayed steady. No, why would I check your phone? I don't know. Things just feel weird lately. You've been acting strange, and I keep getting this feeling like, I don't know, like you're watching me or something. Amanda, I'm not watching you. I go to work. I come home. That's it. You're sure? I'm sure. Is something going on? She was quiet for a long moment. I could hear her breathing. Could picture her standing somewhere private. Office maybe, bathroom, somewhere she thought no one could hear. No, she said finally. Sorry. I'm just stressed. Work stuff. These reports are making me crazy. Forget I said anything. You sure you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'll see you tonight. Okay. Love you. Pause. Long pause. Love you too. She hung up. I stood there in the empty conference room, smiling. She was scared, starting to crack, starting to wonder if her perfect little secret was as secret as she thought. The pressure was working. That night when I got home, Amanda was already there. She'd cooked dinner again. Third time this week. She was trying to fix whatever she thought was broken, trying to smooth things over without actually addressing the problem. Smells good, I said when I walked in. Pot roast, your favorite. It was my favorite, she remembered. That was interesting. We ate at the table. She asked about my day, told me about hers. All surface level stuff. Safe topics. Nothing about Eric. Nothing about the gym. Nothing real. But she kept watching me, studying my face, looking for something. After dinner, we cleaned up together. She washed, I dried, domestic routine, comfortable, familiar. Like nothing was wrong, except everything was wrong. Trevor, she said while rinsing a plate. Yeah? Do you love me? The question surprised me, not because she asked, but because of how she asked, like she genuinely didn't know the answer, like she was afraid of what I might say. Of course I do, I said. Do you, though? Really? Why are you asking me this? She looked down at the soapy water. I feel like we've been distant lately, like something's changed between us. Something has changed. She looked up. What do you mean? You've changed. You're different. You've been different for months. I haven't changed. Amanda, come on. You're never here anymore. When you are here, you're on your phone. You work late constantly. You go out with friends I've never met. You bought a whole new wardrobe. You joined a gym downtown instead of using the one in our building. So you have been paying attention. Of course I've been paying attention. You're my wife. She turned off the water. Dried her hands on a dish towel. I joined a gym because I wanted to get in shape. I bought new clothes because I was tired of my old ones. I work late because my job is demanding. None of that means anything. Doesn't it? What are you accusing me of? I'm not accusing you of anything. You asked if I love you. I said yes. Then you asked why things feel different. I told you. So this is my fault? Whatever tension is between us, it's on me? I didn't say that. Yes, you did. You just listed everything you think I'm doing wrong. I put down the dish towel, walked over to her, looked her in the eye. Amanda, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm answering your questions. You wanted to know if I love you. I do. You wanted to know why things feel different. I told you. If you don't like the answer, that's not on me. She stared at me. For a second, I thought she might cry, or yell, or confess everything. Instead, she said, I'm going to bed. Okay. She walked away. Bedroom door closed, not slammed, just closed. Firm. Final. I stood there in the kitchen, finished drying the dishes by myself, put everything away neat and organized. Then I pulled out my phone, opened my email drafts. I had 2 more ready to send, one to the Better Business Bureau, one to the apartment complex. But I waited. Timing was everything. I needed to let the first complaint settle. Let Eric wonder who sent it. Let him start looking over his shoulder. Then I'd hit him again. Thursday morning, Amanda didn't go to work. Said she was taking a personal day, needed to handle some things. What things? I asked. Just errands, appointments, boring stuff. Want company? No, I'm fine. You go to work. I'll be here when you get home. I left, but I didn't go to work. I called in, told them I was feeling sick. Taking a sick day. They believed me because I never called in sick. Then I drove to a coffee shop 2 blocks from Fitness First, parked where I could see the entrance through the window, ordered a coffee and a muffin, sat by the window, waited. At 11:22 a.m., Amanda's car pulled into the gym parking lot. She went inside, wearing workout clothes but carrying her purse. Stayed for 43 minutes. Came out looking the same, not sweaty, hadn't worked out. She stood by her car, checking her phone, waiting. 2 minutes later, Eric came out. They talked. He looked upset, animated, gesturing a lot. She looked worried, kept touching his arm, trying to calm him down. They talked for maybe 5 minutes, close together, intimate body language. Then she got in her car and left. He stood there watching her drive away. Then he pulled out his phone, stared at it, looked angry, punched something into his phone. Hard, aggressive typing. I watched all of this from the coffee shop window, made mental notes, timestamps, body language, the way they stood together, the way she touched him. After Eric went back inside, I left, drove home. Amanda got there 30 minutes after me. "How were your errands?" I asked. "Fine, just boring stuff, like I said." "What did you do?" "Grocery store, post office, got my car washed." "Car looks good." "Thanks." She went to the bedroom, changed clothes, came back out looking nervous, agitated. "What do you want for dinner?" she asked. "Whatever you want," she nodded, started pulling things out of the refrigerator. Her hands were shaking slightly. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, why?" "You seem nervous." "I'm not nervous, just tired." "Okay." We ate dinner in silence. She kept checking her phone. I kept pretending not to notice. After dinner, I went to the living room. She followed, sat next to me on the couch. Closer than usual, like she was trying to force intimacy. "Trevor." "Yeah?" "If I did something bad, would you forgive me?" I looked at her. "Depends what it is." "I'm serious." "So am I." "Would I forgive you for forgetting to pay a bill?" "Sure." "Would I forgive you for something that fundamentally destroyed our marriage?" "That's a different question." She looked away. "That's not fair." "What's not fair?" "Putting conditions on forgiveness. Either you can forgive or you can't." "That's not how forgiveness works. You can forgive someone and still not stay with them. Forgiveness doesn't mean there are no consequences." She stood up. "I can't do this right now." "Do what?" "This. Whatever this is. These conversations where you say things that sound reasonable but somehow make me feel terrible." "Amanda, I'm going for a walk." She grabbed her keys and left. Just walked out. Middle of the conversation. Middle of everything. I stayed on the couch. Calm, centered, patient. She was cracking, getting close to the breaking point. I could feel it, could see it in every movement, every word, every nervous glance at her phone. I just needed to push a little harder. That night, I sent both emails. The one to the Better Business Bureau, the one to the apartment complex about noise complaints. 3 complaints, 3 different angles. Nothing major on its own. But together, they painted a picture, a pattern. Eric Donnelly was becoming a problem. Amanda came back an hour later. She'd been crying. I could tell even though she'd tried to hide it. Red eyes, blotchy skin, mascara smudged. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just needed some air." "Okay." She went straight to bed, didn't say goodnight, didn't ask if I was coming, just disappeared into the bedroom and closed the door. I stayed up, working on my laptop, adding more notes to my document, planning the next phase. Friday morning was quiet. Amanda left early without saying goodbye. Just walked out while I was in the shower. I found a note on the kitchen counter. "Working late again tonight. Don't wait up." A. No love you. No have a good day. Just a note. Cold. Distant. I crumpled it up and threw it away. Then I went to work for real. Spent the day dealing with a broken elevator and some electrical issues on the 3rd floor. Normal stuff. Kept my hands busy. Kept my mind focused. Around 3 p.m., I got a text from Amanda. "Can we talk when I get home?" I stared at the message. This was it. This was the moment. She was going to confess. Or try to. Going to come clean about Eric. About the affair. About everything. I texted back, "Sure. What time will you be home?" "Around 8. "Okay, I'll be here." The rest of the day dragged. Every minute felt like an hour. I kept checking my phone. Kept wondering what she'd say, how she'd frame it, whether she'd tell the whole truth or just enough truth to clear her conscience. I got home at 6, showered, changed into clean clothes, made myself dinner, ate slowly, methodically. At 7:45, I heard her car pull into the parking lot, heard her footsteps on the stairs, heard her key in the lock. She came in looking exhausted, defeated, like she'd been carrying something heavy for too long and finally decided to put it down. "Hey," she said. "Hey." She set her purse on the counter, took off her jacket. "Can we sit down?" Sure. We went to the living room, sat on opposite ends of the couch, like strangers, like two people who didn't know each other anymore. She took a deep breath. Trevor, I need to tell you something. Okay. And I need you to just listen. Let me get it all out before you say anything. Can you do that? I can do that. She looked down at her hands, twisted her wedding ring, around and around, nervous gesture, stalling gesture. Things haven't been good between us for a while, she started. I know you feel it too. The distance, the tension. We've been going through the motions, but we're not really connected anymore. I didn't say anything, just listened like I'd promised. And I've been trying to figure out why. What went wrong when it started? And I think maybe we just grew apart. We wanted different things. We became different people. She paused, waiting for me to interrupt. I didn't. I met someone, she said quietly. At the gym. We started talking. Just casual conversation at first. But then it became more. And I know that's not an excuse. I know I should have talked to you first. Should have been honest, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to tell you that I wasn't happy anymore. She looked up at me, eyes wet, tears threatening to fall. I'm sorry, Trevor. I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you, but I can't keep lying. I can't keep pretending everything is fine when it's not. Silence. Heavy silence. The kind that fills a room and pushes out all the oxygen. I sat there, processing, not the information. I already knew all of this, but the way she was telling it, the framing, making it about us growing apart, making it sound inevitable. Like she had no choice. Like this just happened to her. Are you going to say anything? She asked. You said to let you finish. Are you finished? Yes. Okay, then I have some questions. She nodded, bracing herself. How long? I asked. A few months. How many is a few? Trevor, how many months, Amanda? 3, maybe 4. Since March? She looked surprised. How did you... Just answer the question. Since March? Yes, around then. And his name is Eric? Her face went pale. How do you know that? Eric Donnelly, personal trainer at Fitness First, former baseball player, lives at the Riverside Lofts, drives a black Jeep Wrangler, has about $5,000 in credit card debt. Am I missing anything? She stared at me, mouth open. Couldn't speak. You thought I didn't know, I said. You thought I was oblivious. You thought you were being careful, sneaky, smart. Trevor, How many times did you lie to me? How many girls' nights with Denise that were really nights with him? How many late nights at work that were really dates? How many times did you come home smelling like him and get into bed next to me? I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I don't want your apology. I want you to understand something. I leaned forward, looked her dead in the eye. You made a choice. Every time you texted him, every time you met him, every time you lied to me, you made a choice, and choices have consequences. What does that mean? It means you need to leave. What? You need to leave? Tonight. Pack your things and go. Trevor, can we talk about this? There's nothing to talk about. You already made your decision. You chose him, so go be with him. I don't want to be with him. I want to fix this. Fix us. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You want to fix us after months of lying? After spending tonight explaining how we grew apart and this just happened? You don't want to fix us. You want me to forgive you so you can feel better about what you did? That's not true. It is true. You came here tonight to clear your conscience, to make yourself feel like a good person by confessing. But you're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught. How did you find out? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. Did someone tell you? Did you follow me? Yeah, I paid attention, that's all. I noticed the changes, the patterns, the lies, and I connected the dots. She was crying now, full tears, shoulders shaking. I never meant to hurt you. But you did, and now you need to leave. Trevor, please. Leave, Amanda, right now. Pack a bag and go. She sat there for a long moment, crying, shaking. Then she stood up, walked to the bedroom. I heard her moving around, opening drawers, closet doors, the sound of a suitcase zipper. 20 minutes later, she came out, carrying a suitcase and her purse, eyes red, face destroyed. Where am I supposed to go? She asked. Not my problem. Call Eric. Call Denise. Call your mother. I don't care. Can we please just talk about this tomorrow when we've both calmed down? No. Trevor, get out. Now. She stood there, staring at me, like she was waiting for me to take it back, to change my mind, to be the understanding husband who forgives and forgets. But I wasn't that person anymore. "Go," I said. She left. The door closed behind her. I heard her footsteps on the stairs, heard her car start, heard her drive away, then silence. I sat there on the couch in the empty apartment. Didn't move, didn't cry, didn't feel much of anything. Just sat there, thinking, planning. Because this wasn't over, not even close. The apartment felt different without Amanda. Not empty exactly, just different. Lighter, maybe. Like a weight had been lifted. Or maybe like I could finally breathe without someone watching every breath. I didn't sleep that night, just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, processing, planning, running scenarios through my head. Around 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. Text from Amanda. "I'm at a hotel. Can we please talk?" I didn't respond. Another text came through 5 minutes later. "Trevor, I know you're awake. Please, I made a mistake. I'm sorry." I turned my phone face down. Let her sit with her guilt. Let her wonder what I was thinking. Let her feel a fraction of what I'd been feeling for months. Saturday morning, I woke up early, made coffee, sat at my laptop, opened my document, read through everything I'd compiled, all the evidence, all the patterns, all the proof. Then I opened a new document, titled it Phase 2, started typing. Amanda had confessed. Eric didn't know that yet. He thought they were still being careful, thought they were safe. That gave me an advantage. I pulled up Eric's Instagram. He'd posted last night, late, around midnight. Photo of himself at some bar. Looked drunk. Caption: "When life gets complicated, keep it simple. Fitness, focus, forward." The comments were supportive. People telling him to stay strong, that he was an inspiration, that whatever he was going through would pass. If they only knew. Oh, I checked Amanda's Instagram. She'd posted too. 3 hours ago. Photo of a sunset. Generic. Caption: "Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself." That was rich. My phone rang. Amanda calling. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again. And again. 6 times in 20 minutes. Finally, I answered. "What?" "Trevor, thank God. I've been trying to reach you." "I know. What do you want?" "I want to come home. I want to talk. I want to fix this." "You can't fix this. Please, just give me a chance. Let me explain everything." "You already explained. You met someone. You weren't happy. You made a choice. What's left to explain?" "It's not that simple." "It is that simple. You wanted something different, so go get it. I'm not stopping you." "I don't want him. I want you. I want us." "Then you should have thought about that before you started going to dinner with him, before you started lying to me, before you came home at 4 in the morning and pretended nothing happened." Silence on the other end, then crying, soft, broken crying. "Trevor, I'm begging you, please, don't throw away 8 years over this." "I'm not throwing anything away. You already did that." "I'll end it. I'll never see him again. I'll do whatever you want." "What I want is for you to stop calling me." "Trevor," I hung up, blocked her number. Then I sent her one text from my email. "Talk to a lawyer. Figure out the divorce. Leave me alone." Then I got dressed, went to the gym, not fitness first, the one in our building, worked out for 2 hours, pushed myself harder than I had in months, trying to burn off the energy, the anger, the cold, focused rage that was building in my chest. After the gym, I showered, made lunch, sat down with my laptop again. It was time for the twist. See, Amanda didn't know something important. When she confessed last night, when she told me about Eric, when she cried and apologized and begged for forgiveness, she thought she was confessing because her conscience couldn't take it anymore. She didn't realize I'd been pushing her toward that confession for weeks. Every cold response, every weird comment. Every time I'd acted strange or distant or different, I'd been applying pressure, making her nervous, making her feel watched, making her paranoid enough to crack. She'd confessed because I'd made her confess. And now Eric was going to pay for it. I opened my email, pulled up Eric's Instagram and Facebook profiles, found his email address from a post where he'd advertised personal training packages, created a new fake email account. This one from Melissa Thompson, used a different stock photo, young woman, attractive, trustworthy looking, typed out an email. Subject, training session inquiry. Hi, Eric. I saw your profile on the Fitness First website, and I'm interested in booking some training sessions. I'm preparing for a marathon and need help with strength training and injury prevention. Would you have availability in the next few weeks? Also, I noticed you've gotten some negative complaints recently. I just wanted to let you know that I train at Fitness First too, and I've never seen you do anything inappropriate. Some people just like to cause problems. Don't let it get you down. Looking forward to hearing from you. Best, Melissa, I read it 3 times. Made sure it sounded genuine, supportive without being suspicious. Then I sent it. The bait was set. Within 2 hours, Eric responded. Hi, Melissa. Thanks so much for reaching out, and thanks for the kind words. Yeah, it's been a rough week. Some anonymous complaints that are completely baseless, but I guess that's what happens when you're successful. People get jealous. I'd love to help you with your marathon training. I actually ran college track, so endurance is my specialty. I have openings next Tuesday and Thursday evening. If either of those work for you, let me know and we can set something up. Eric, perfect. He was paranoid, defensive, looking for validation, I typed back. That sounds great. Tuesday evening works for me, 7 p.m. And seriously, don't worry about those complaints. I've been training at Fitness First for 6 months, and you've always been nothing but professional with everyone. Someone probably has a personal grudge or something. It happens. See you Tuesday, he confirmed. Tuesday at 7. I had 4 days to prepare. Sunday I went to Amanda's mother's house. She lived an hour away. Small house, nice neighborhood. I'd been there maybe 10 times in 8 years. I knocked on the door, waited. Amanda's mother opened it. She looked surprised to see me. Trevor, what are you doing here? Hi, Karen. Is Amanda here? Yes, she's inside. Trevor, what's going on? She showed up Friday night crying, won't tell me what happened. Can I talk to her? I don't know if that's a good idea. Please, just 5 minutes. She hesitated, then stepped aside. She's in her old room. I walked in. The house smelled the same, vanilla candles and old furniture. I walked down the hall to Amanda's childhood bedroom. The door was closed. I knocked. Mom, I don't want to talk right now, Amanda called from inside. It's not your mom. It's me. Silence. Then footsteps. The door opened. Amanda looked terrible. No makeup, hair messy, eyes swollen from crying. She was wearing sweatpants and one of my old college t-shirts. The irony wasn't lost on me. What are you doing here? She asked. Can I come in? Why? I want to talk. She looked at me, searching my face for something. Hope, maybe, or anger. I kept my expression neutral. Fine, but my mom is right down the hall. I walked in. She closed the door. We stood there in her childhood bedroom. Posters still on the walls, high school trophies on the shelf, frozen in time. I've been thinking, I said. About what? About us. About what you said Friday night. And? And maybe you're right. Maybe we did grow apart. Maybe this isn't all your fault. Her face changed. Hope blooming. Really? Yeah, I've been working a lot. Distant, not paying attention to what you needed. I can see how that would push you away. Trevor, Let me finish. I think maybe we can work through this. Go to counseling. Try to fix things. But I need you to do something first. Anything. What do you need? I need you to end it with him, completely. No more contact. Block his number. Block his social media. Tell him it's over and you're working on your marriage. Okay, I can do that. I need you to do it today, right now. Call him and end it while I'm here. She hesitated. Trevor, I don't know if that's the condition. You do it now, in front of me, or we're done. Permanently. She looked at her phone, then at me, then back at her phone. Okay, she said quietly. Okay, I'll do it. She picked up her phone, pulled up Eric's contact. Hit call, put it on speaker. It rang 4 times. Then he answered. Hey, Eric said. Casual voice, warm voice, the voice of someone who had no idea what was coming. Hey, Amanda said. Her voice was shaking. You okay? You sound weird. I need to talk to you about something. Okay, what's up? She glanced at me. I nodded, encouraging, supportive. I can't do this anymore, she said. Us, whatever this is, I can't do it. Pause. What are you talking about? Trevor knows. He found out. And I told him everything. And now I need to end this. I need to work on my marriage. Longer pause. Are you serious right now? Yes. I'm sorry. I never should have let this happen in the first place. Never should have. Amanda, you pursued me. You were the one who... I know, and it was wrong. I made a mistake. and now I need to fix it. By throwing me under the bus? I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just being honest. Does he know you came to my apartment? Does he know you told me you were going to leave him? Amanda's face went white. She looked at me. I kept my expression blank. That's not... I never said that. Yes, you did. 2 weeks ago. You said you were going to leave him, that we could be together, that you were just waiting for the right time. Eric, stop. Does he know you were planning to file for divorce? That you'd already talked to a lawyer? My stomach dropped. Not because I was surprised, but because I wasn't. Some part of me had suspected, but hearing it confirmed was different. Amanda was crying now. Eric, please stop talking. Why? Because your husband is there? Because you're trying to play the victim? Screw that. You don't get to do this. You don't get to use me and then throw me away when it gets complicated. I wasn't using you. Yes, you were. And honestly, I feel sorry for him, your husband, because he thinks you're coming back to him. He thinks you want to fix your marriage, but you don't. You're just scared, and you're taking the safe option. That's not true. It is true, and you know what? He deserves better than you. I deserve better than you. We both do. He hung up. Amanda stood there, phone in hand, crying, shaking. Trevor, I can explain. You talked to a lawyer? It was just a consultation. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. You told him you were going to leave me? I didn't mean it. I was just... Get out. What? Get out of this room. Out of my sight. Now. Trevor, please. Now. She ran out, sobbing. I heard her bedroom door slam down the hall. Karen appeared in the doorway. Trevor, what's going on? Ask your daughter. I walked past her, out of the house, got in my truck, drove away. But I wasn't angry. That was the strange part. I was smiling, because Eric had just given me everything I needed. He'd confirmed that Amanda had planned to leave me, that she'd consulted a lawyer, that she'd told him they'd be together. She hadn't just made a mistake, she'd been planning an exit strategy. And now I was going to use that information to destroy them both. Monday morning, I called out of work, told my supervisor I had a family emergency. He didn't ask questions. Then I drove downtown, to the law office building on 5th Street, 3 floors, 15 different firms. I checked the directory in the lobby, found what I was looking for on the 2nd floor. Mitchell and Associates, Family Law. I took the elevator up, walked into their office. Professional space, leather furniture, magazines on the coffee table, a receptionist behind a glass partition. Can I help you? She asked. Yeah, I'm looking for some information. My wife consulted with someone here a few weeks ago, Amanda Patterson. I need to know what she discussed. I'm sorry, sir. I can't disclose client information. She's my wife. That doesn't matter. Attorney-client privilege applies even to spouses. Can you at least tell me who she met with? The receptionist hesitated. Let me get the office manager. She disappeared into a back office, returned with a woman in her 50s, professional suit, serious expression. I'm Janet Mitchell. How can I help you? My wife came here for a consultation, Amanda Patterson. I need to know what she discussed. As my receptionist explained, we can't disclose that information. Even if she was planning to file for divorce without telling me? Even then, I'm sorry. I nodded. I understand. Thank you for your time. I left, got back in my truck, sat there for a minute, thinking. I didn't need them to tell me what Amanda had discussed. Eric had already confirmed it, but I wanted to see if I could get documentation, proof, something concrete. But that wasn't going to happen. Not legally anyway. Fine. I'd work with what I had. I pulled out my phone, texted Amanda. I know you consulted a divorce lawyer. Eric told me everything. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Can we please talk? In person? No. Trevor, please. I need to explain. Explain what? That you were planning to leave me? That everything you said Friday night was a lie? It wasn't a lie. I'm confused. I don't know what I want. You know exactly what you want. You just don't have the guts to commit to it. That's not fair. Neither is planning to divorce your husband while sleeping with your personal trainer. She didn't respond for 5 minutes. Then, what do you want from me? Nothing. I want nothing from you. So that's it? We're done? We've been done since March. You're just realizing it now. I put my phone away, started the truck, drove to the Riverside Lofts. Eric's Jeep was in the parking lot. He was home, probably between clients. Probably sitting in his apartment wondering if Amanda had ruined his life. I parked across the street, watched the building, waited. The Riverside Lofts looked different in daylight. Less imposing, just another generic apartment complex trying to look trendy with its exposed brick and industrial windows. The kind of place young professionals move into because it looks good on Instagram. The kind of place where nobody knows their neighbors, where everyone keeps to themselves. Perfect for secrets. I sat in my truck drinking coffee from a gas station cup, watching the entrance, counting the people who came and went. None of them Eric, none of them looking like they had anywhere important to be. At 2:35 p.m., Eric came out. He looked different than he had on Instagram, less polished, less put together. He was wearing gym clothes, but they looked slept in. Wrinkled. His hair was messy. He hadn't shaved. Looked like someone who'd had a rough night and an even rougher morning. Good. He was carrying his duffel bag, but the way he carried it was different. Not confident, not purposeful. Just going through the motions, like he was on autopilot. He got in his Jeep, sat there for a minute looking at his phone. Even from across the street, I could see the tension in his shoulders, the way he gripped the phone, the way he stared at the screen like it contained all the answers to questions he didn't know how to ask. Then he started the engine, pulled out of the parking lot, drove off. I followed him, kept 3 cars back, changed lanes when he changed lanes, stayed far enough that he wouldn't notice, but close enough that I wouldn't lose him in traffic. It's easier than people think. Most people don't pay attention to what's behind them. Most people are too focused on where they're going to notice who's following. He drove to fitness first, of course, work, routine, the thing he could still control when everything else was falling apart. Parked in his usual spot, sat in the Jeep for another few minutes, probably psyching himself up, probably trying to put on the professional mask, the motivational trainer, the guy who has it all together. Finally, he got out, grabbed his duffel, walked inside, shoulders slumped, head down. Not the confident stride I'd seen before. This was defeat walking. This was someone barely holding it together. I parked down the street in the same spot I'd used before, coffee shop parking lot, good sight lines, easy exit, settled in to wait. The hours passed slowly. I watched people come and go from the gym, the after-work crowd, people stopping by between errands, the dedicated ones who came straight from their offices still in business casual. I thought about Amanda, wondered where she was right now, what she was doing. If she was thinking about me, if she was thinking about Eric, if she was thinking about anything other than herself. Probably not. At 6:45 p.m., Eric came back out. He looked worse than when he'd gone in, more exhausted, more defeated, like the day had taken everything he had and left him empty. He talked to someone, another trainer, young guy, maybe mid-20s, muscular, fresh-faced. Probably thought Eric had it all figured out. Probably asked for advice, wanted to know the secret to success, if he only knew. They talked for maybe 2 minutes. Eric nodded a lot. Forced smile. Professional courtesy. Then the conversation ended, and Eric got in his Jeep. Sat there again, staring at his phone again. I could see his face from here. See the way his jaw clenched. The way his hand tightened around the phone. He was spiraling, coming apart, and I'd barely touched him yet. Finally, he started the engine, drove away. I followed again. This time he didn't go home, didn't go to a restaurant, went to a bar. Not Elevation Lounge, not anywhere trendy or upscale. This was different. Dive bar on the east side, the kind of place people go when they don't want to be seen, when they don't want to maintain appearances, when they just want to drink and forget. Neon sign that said Mickey's with half the letters burned out. Gravel parking lot full of pickup trucks and old sedans, no Jeep Wranglers, no trendy vehicles, just working-class transportation. Eric looked out of place pulling in. His Jeep too new, too clean, too expensive for this crowd. He went inside. I waited 5 minutes, gave him time to settle, time to order, time to forget about watching the door. Then I followed. The bar was exactly what I expected. Dark. Smelled like old beer and fried food and decades of cigarette smoke that no amount of cleaning could eliminate. Maybe 15 people inside, all of them looking like they had their own problems, their own reasons for being here at 7 p.m. on a Monday. Eric was at the bar, alone. Already had a drink in front of him. Something amber. Whiskey, probably. The good stuff. Not the well drinks the regulars were drinking. I sat 3 stools down, far enough that he wouldn't notice me, close enough that I could hear if he talked. Ordered a beer from the bartender. Older woman, 50 maybe, hard face. the kind that had seen everything and been surprised by nothing. $3.50, she said when she set the beer down. I paid cash, left $1 tip. Not too much, not too little. Forgettable. Eric was on his phone, scrolling, typing, deleting, typing again. His face was tight, angry, that muscle in his jaw working overtime. I nursed my beer, watched the TV mounted in the corner. Some basketball game. Didn't care who was playing, just needed something to look at that wasn't Eric. After his second drink, he ordered a third, then a fourth, his movements getting sloppier, his phone handling less coordinated. After his fifth drink, he started talking to the bartender. "Can't believe her," I heard him say. The bartender nodded, wiped down the bar. Professional sympathy. "Used me. Thought we had something real." More nodding. She'd heard this story before. Different names, same plot. Someone always getting used, someone always getting hurt. "Husband knows everything now. Whole thing's a nightmare." I took a sip of my beer, kept my face neutral. Just another guy at a bar having a quiet drink. Eric ordered another whiskey, stronger this time, double, downed it fast, winced. Then his phone rang. He looked at the screen. His whole face changed. Anger mixed with something else. Pain, longing, regret, all of it flashing across his features in the space of a second. He answered. "What?" His voice was loud, harsh. People at nearby tables looked over. Pause while whoever was on the other end talked. No, I don't want to talk about it." Louder now, another pause. "You made your choice. You chose him, so leave me alone." Practically yelling, longer pause. "I don't care what he knows. That's your problem, not mine. You should have thought about that before you..." He trailed off, shook his head. "Forget it. Just forget it." He hung up, slammed the phone on the bar, ordered another drink. The bartender poured it without comment. She'd seen this before, too. The drunk dial, the ex calling, the conversation that never goes anywhere good. I stayed for another hour, watching him get progressively more intoxicated, more sloppy, more careless. His words slurring when he ordered drinks, his hand-eye coordination failing when he reached for his phone. At 9:30, he paid his tab, counted out bills, dropped some, picked them up. The bartender watched him with concern. "You okay to drive?" she asked. "I'm fine," he slurred. "You want me to call you a cab?" "I said I'm fine." He stumbled toward the door, knocked into a chair, apologized to it, kept walking, got to his Jeep, fumbled with his keys, dropped them, bent down to pick them up, almost fell over, caught himself on the Jeep, finally got the door open, climbed in, started the engine. He shouldn't have been driving, not even close. Blood alcohol level probably twice the legal limit, maybe 3 times, but I wasn't going to stop him, wasn't going to call the cops, wasn't going to do anything but watch. Some lessons you have to learn yourself. I followed him at a distance, kept far back. He was driving erratically, way too fast down straightaways, then too slow through turns, swerving slightly, overcompensating, then swerving the other way. I watched him almost run a red light, slam on the brakes, jerk to a stop, sit there for 30 seconds after the light turned green before finally driving through. Watched him drift into the other lane, jerk back, overcorrect. Any cop would have pulled him over. But there were no cops, just empty Monday night streets and a man driving home too impaired to be behind a wheel. He made it back to the Riverside lofts without incident. Some people have that kind of luck, the kind where they make terrible decisions and somehow don't face immediate consequences. But consequences always come, just not always when you expect them. He parked crooked, took up 2 spaces, got out, dropped his keys, bent down, lost his balance, caught himself on the Jeep, picked up the keys, walked toward the building entrance, swaying, stumbling. One hand on the wall for support, made it inside, disappeared from view. I sat in my truck, waiting, watching his apartment windows on the 3rd floor. Lights came on a few minutes later. I could see his silhouette moving around. Clumsy movements, probably trying to make it to the couch or the bed before passing out. The lights went off 20 minutes later. He was down for the count. I waited another hour, making certain he wasn't coming back down, that he was truly unconscious. Then I got out of my truck. The parking lot was quiet, just the distant sound of traffic on the main road, the hum of air conditioning units, the normal sounds of a building full of people living their separate lives. I walked to Eric's Jeep, pulled out the valve core tool I'd brought from work, small thing, fits in your pocket. We use them for HVAC work, for releasing pressure from systems, for controlled deflation. Perfect for what I needed. I knelt by the front driver's side tire, unscrewed the valve cap, set it aside, inserted the tool, twisted, air started hissing out. Steady stream. The tire began to deflate. I caught the valve core when it came out. Small piece of metal. Without it, the tire wouldn't hold air. Simple, effective, put it in my pocket. Then I moved to the rear driver's side tire. Same process. Unscrew cap, insert tool, twist, catch the valve core. 2 tires, not 4. 4 would be obvious vandalism, intentional damage, someone with a grudge. But 2? 2 could be anything. Bad luck, coincidence. Maybe he ran over something that punctured both tires on the same side. It happens. Plausible deniability. I replaced the valve caps, stood up, walked back to my truck. No cameras had seen me, no witnesses. Just another person walking through a parking lot at night. I drove home, put the valve cores in a drawer, washed my hands, made myself a sandwich. Normal night. Normal routine. Like I hadn't just taken another small step in dismantling Eric Donnelly's life. I walked back to my truck, drove home. Tuesday morning, Eric posted on Instagram. Photo of his Jeep with 2 flat tires. Caption, "Seriously? What did I do to deserve this week?" The comments were sympathetic, supportive, telling him to hang in there. I didn't like the post. Didn't engage, just watched. That afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. "This is Amanda, using my mom's phone because you blocked me. Please call me. We need to talk about the apartment and other things." I didn't respond. Another text came through. "I know you're reading these. Trevor, please. I'm sorry for everything. I never should have lied to you. Never should have let things go this far. I made a terrible mistake and I'm asking for a chance to make it right." Still didn't respond. Third text. "If you won't talk to me, then I need to at least get some of my things from the apartment. Can I come by this week?" I thought about it, then texted back. "Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Be gone by 8. Thank you, I'll be there." I put the phone down, went back to my laptop. Phase 2 was almost complete. Now it was time for Phase 3. The final phase. The one where I made sure Eric Donnelly understood what happens when you mess with someone's life. Thursday evening, I cleaned the apartment. Not because I cared what Amanda thought, but because I wanted her to see what she was giving up. Wanted her to see that I was fine without her. Better even. I vacuumed, did the dishes, made the bed, organized everything, made it look like the apartment of someone who had their life together. At 6:55 p.m., I heard footsteps on the stairs. A knock on the door. I opened it. Amanda stood there. She looked better than she had on Sunday. Makeup done, hair styled, like she was trying to look put together, trying to show me what I was missing. "Hey," she said. "Hey, can I come in?" "You've got until 8. She walked past me, set her purse on the counter, looked around. "Place looks good," she said. "Thanks. You've been cleaning?" "I've been living." She flinched. "Right." She walked to the bedroom. I stayed in the living room, heard her opening drawers, the closet, moving hangers around. After about 20 minutes, she came out with 2 bags. "I just need a few more things, some books, my laptop charger." "Take whatever's yours." She gathered a few items, books from the shelf, charger from the desk, a picture frame from the mantel, the one from our wedding. She held it for a moment, looking at the photo. Young us, happy us, before everything got complicated. "We were good together once," she said quietly. "Once. Can't we be good together again?" "No." "Why not?" "Because you destroyed it. You took something good and you set it on fire. And now you're standing in the ashes asking if we can rebuild. We can't. People recover from affairs all the time. This wasn't just an affair. You were planning to leave me. You consulted a lawyer. You told him you'd be with him. You lied to me for months, came home smelling like him and got in bed next to me like nothing was wrong. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern of choices." She set down the picture frame. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But Trevor, we spent 8 years together. 8 years? Doesn't that count for something?" "It did. Until you decided it didn't." "I never decided that." "Yes, you did. Every time you chose him over me. Every time you lied. Every time you walked out that door to meet him. You were choosing, and you chose him. So go be with him." "I don't want him. I want you." "You can't have me." She picked up her bags, wiped her eyes. "Is there anything I can do? Anything that would make you reconsider?" No. So this is really it? We're really done? We're done. She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. For what it's worth, I really am sorry. I know you don't believe me, but I am. Noted. She left. I closed the door behind her, locked it. Then I checked my watch. 7:42 p.m. Perfect timing, because what Amanda didn't know was that I'd sent Eric a message yesterday from the fake Melissa account. Hey, change of plans. Can we meet tonight instead of next week? I'm in the area and wanted to get started on training. 8 p.m. at Fitness First? Let me know. He'd responded, Sure. See you then? At 7:50 p.m., I left the apartment, drove downtown, parked near Fitness First. Different spot this time, where I could see the entrance but wouldn't be seen. At 7:58 p.m., Amanda's car pulled into the parking lot. She parked, sat there for a minute, then got out, walked toward the gym entrance. At 8:01 p.m., Eric came out to meet her. They stood in the parking lot, talking. She was gesturing, explaining something. He looked angry, defensive. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could read body language. She was pleading, he was refusing. She reached for his arm. He pulled away. This went on for maybe 5 minutes. Then Eric turned to walk back inside. Amanda grabbed his arm again. He spun around, got in her face, yelling now, loud enough that I could hear pieces of it even from across the parking lot. Oh, not my problem. Used me. Leave me alone. Amanda was crying, trying to calm him down, trying to smooth things over. That's when I got out of my truck, walked across the parking lot, calm, steady, like I just happened to be there. They didn't see me until I was maybe 10 feet away. Having a nice conversation? I asked. They both turned. Amanda's face went white. Eric's went red. Trevor, Amanda started. Don't. I looked at Eric. You must be Eric. He straightened up, trying to look tough. Yeah, and you must be the husband. That's right. Look, man, I don't want any trouble. Neither do I. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. What page is that? The page where you understand that my wife used you. She wasn't going to leave me. She was never going to leave me. She was just bored, and you were convenient. That's not... Amanda tried. Shut up, I said without looking at her. Kept my eyes on Eric. She told you she loved you, right? Told you that you had something special? That once she figured out the logistics, you'd be together? Eric didn't answer, but his face said everything. She told me the same things 8 years ago, when I was the new guy, the exciting guy, the one who made her feel alive. You know what happened after that? She got bored, started looking around, found you. Trevor, stop, Amanda said, and in a few years she'll get bored of you too, if she hasn't already. She'll find another personal trainer, another exciting guy, another person to make her feel like she's living some kind of adventure. Because that's what she does. She destroys things. You don't know what you're talking about, Eric said. But his voice was uncertain. Don't I? Let me ask you something. Did she tell you about the credit card debt she's been hiding from me, the shopping addiction? Did she tell you that she goes through money like water, or did she just let you pay for everything, dinners, drinks, making you feel like a big man? Eric's face changed, realization dawning. She's expensive, Eric, in every way, and eventually she'll drain you dry and move on to someone else. That's not true, Amanda said, but she was crying now, mascara running down her face. Isn't it? I looked at her finally. Tell him about the other guy, before me, the one you were engaged to, the one you left when you met me. Tell him that story. That was different. It wasn't different. You have a pattern, and Eric is just the latest victim. I turned back to Eric. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk away from her, delete her number, block her on everything, pretend she doesn't exist. Because if you don't, you're going to end up exactly where I am, standing in a parking lot wondering how you wasted years of your life on someone who was never going to choose you. Eric looked at Amanda, then at me, then back at Amanda. Is that true? He asked her. About the other guy? She didn't answer, just cried. It's true, I said. Everything's true. She's a liar, a user, and you're better off without her. Trust me. Eric shook his head. You know what? You're both crazy. I'm done with this. He walked back into the gym. Amanda stood there, sobbing, shaking. How could you do that? She asked. How could I do that? Are you serious right now? You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself. I just made sure he knew the truth. What truth? That I made mistakes? That I'm not perfect? The truth that you're a liar, that you destroy people, that everything you touch turns to ash. I loved you. No, you didn't. You loved the idea of me, the stability, the safety, the guy who worked hard and paid the bills and didn't ask too many questions. But you never loved me. Because if you loved me, you wouldn't have done any of this. Trevor, please, stop. Just stop. I don't want your apologies. I don't want your explanations. I don't want anything from you anymore. What do you want then? I want you to leave. I want you to figure out your own life without dragging me or anyone else down with you. I want you to go away. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. I walked back to my truck. Got in, started the engine. Through the windshield, I could see her standing there, alone in the parking lot, crying, broken. Part of me felt bad. Small part. The part that remembered the good times, the early days, the version of her I'd fallen in love with. But that version was gone. Maybe it never existed. Maybe I'd just been seeing what I wanted to see. I drove away. Didn't look back. Friday morning, I woke up feeling lighter, like I'd finally put down something heavy I'd been carrying for too long. I made coffee, made breakfast, sat at the table eating scrambled eggs and toast, like it was a normal day. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. Hello? Trevor? It's Karen, Amanda's mom. Hi, Karen. Trevor, what happened? Amanda showed up here last night hysterical. She won't tell me what happened. She's been crying all night. She won't eat. She won't talk. I'm worried about her. She didn't tell you? She said something about you confronting her and Eric in a parking lot, that you said terrible things, that you embarrassed her. I told the truth? What truth? Ask Amanda. I'm asking you. I took a sip of coffee. Amanda's been having an affair for months. She was planning to divorce me. She consulted a lawyer. She told her lover that she was going to leave me and be with him. And when I found out, she tried to play the victim. Tried to make it seem like it just happened, like she made a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. It was calculated. And I'm done pretending otherwise. Silence on the other end. Is that true? Karen asked quietly. Yes. All of it? All of it. More silence. I'm sorry, Karen said finally. I didn't know. She told me you two were having problems, that you'd grown apart. She didn't tell me about another man. She wouldn't. Trevor, she's really in bad shape. I know she hurt you. I know she made terrible choices. But she's my daughter, and I'm worried about her. She'll be fine. She always is. Will she? Karen, I appreciate the call, but this is between me and Amanda. Whatever she's going through, that's on her, not on me. I understand, but Trevor? Yeah? Is there any chance you two could work through this? Any chance at all? No. You're sure? I'm sure. She sighed. Okay, I had to ask. Take care of yourself. You too. I hung up, finished my breakfast, got ready for work. At noon, I got a text from Amanda, from her mom's phone again. Please talk to me. I'm falling apart. I need you. I didn't respond. Another text at 2. I can't eat, can't sleep, can't think. I know I don't deserve your sympathy, but I'm begging you. Please, just talk to me. Still didn't respond. At 4, my phone rang. Amanda's mom's number. I answered. Hello? Trevor. Amanda's voice, hoarse, broken. Please don't hang up. What do you want? I need to see you, face to face, please. Why? Because I need to explain, really explain, everything, the whole truth. I already know the truth. No, you don't. You know part of it. But there's more. Things I haven't told you, things that explain why I did what I did. There's no explanation that makes this okay. I know that. But I need you to understand. I need you to hear my side. I've heard your side, multiple times. It's always the same. You were confused, you made a mistake, you're sorry. I don't need to hear it again. Trevor, please, I'm literally begging you. Just one conversation, 1 hour. That's all I'm asking. And if after that you still want me gone, I'll go. I'll sign whatever papers you want. I'll disappear. But please, just give me 1 hour. I thought about it. Part of me wanted to say no, to hang up, to let her sit with her guilt and regret, to let her suffer like I'd suffered. But another part of me was curious. What could she possibly say that would change anything? What explanation could make months of lying acceptable? Fine, I said. 1 hour, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., the coffee shop on Maple Street. Thank you so much. I'll be there. If you're late, I'm leaving. I won't be late, I promise. She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone. This was probably a mistake. Giving her another chance to explain. Another opportunity to manipulate. Another platform to play the victim. But I wanted to hear what she'd say. Wanted to see if she'd finally tell the whole truth, or if she'd keep lying even when she had nothing left to lose. Saturday morning, I got to the coffee shop at 9:45, ordered a black coffee, sat at a table by the window where I could see the parking lot. At 9:52, Amanda's car pulled in. She got out, looked nervous, scared even. She came inside, saw me, walked over. She looked terrible, worse than I'd ever seen her. No makeup, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, dark circles under her eyes. She'd lost weight, looked fragile, breakable. "Hi," she said quietly. "Hi, sit down." She sat. A barista came over. "Can I get you anything?" she asked Amanda. "Just water, please." The barista left. Amanda looked at me, eyes red, face hollow. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "You've got 1 hour. Start talking." She took a deep breath. "I don't know where to begin." "The beginning. When did it start? And don't lie. I want the whole truth this time." "March. Like I said before, I joined the gym, met Eric, we started talking." "And when did it become more than talking?" "End of March. Maybe early April. I don't remember exactly." "Try." "April 3rd. We went to dinner after one of my training sessions. It just happened." The same day she'd bought the expensive workout clothes, the timeline tracked. "And you've been seeing him since then?" "Yes, 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes more." "Where?" "His apartment mostly. Sometimes restaurants. Once we went away for a weekend. I told you I was visiting my sister." "The Richmond trip." I'd been right. "And you were planning to leave me?" She looked down. "Yes." "When?" "I don't know. I kept changing my mind. One day I'd think, yes, this is what I want. The next day I'd think, no. I can't do this to Trevor. I was confused." "You consulted a lawyer." "I did. In May. But I never filed anything. I just wanted to know what my options were." "And you told Eric you'd leave me, that you'd be with him?" "I said a lot of things I didn't mean. I was caught up in the fantasy, the excitement, the feeling of being wanted." "I wanted you." "I know, but it wasn't the same. With you, I was the wife, the stable one, the responsible one. With Eric, I was different. I was exciting, spontaneous, someone new." "So you got bored of being my wife and decided to pretend to be someone else?" "It wasn't like that." "That's exactly what it was like. You wanted to feel young and reckless and free, so you destroyed our marriage to chase a fantasy." "I know. I know it was selfish. I know I hurt you. But Trevor, I want you to understand something." "What?" "I never stopped loving you," I laughed. "Couldn't help it." "You didn't stop loving me?" "Amanda, you went to another man's apartment while you were married to me. You lied to me for months. You planned to divorce me. That's not love." "It is. It's just complicated love. Messy love. I can love you and still make terrible choices. Those things aren't mutually exclusive." "Yes, they are. Love is a choice, and you chose him, every time, for months. And I regret it, every second. I wish I could take it all back. I wish I could undo everything and go back to how we were." "We can't go back." "I know, but we could go forward. We could rebuild, start over. People do it all the time. I'm not people." "Trevor, please, I'm begging you. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I don't deserve another chance. But I'm asking anyway. Because I love you. Because I want our marriage. Because I can't imagine my life without you in it." "You should have thought about that before." "I know. You're right. I should have. But I didn't. And now I'm here, broken, begging, asking you to find some way to forgive me." I looked at her, really looked at her. She was crying, hands shaking, voice breaking. And I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no pity. Just nothing. "I can't," I said. "Can't what?" "Forgive you, not because I don't want to, but because even if I tried, it wouldn't matter. You destroyed something that can't be repaired. You can't unring a bell. You can't unburn a bridge. You can't unbreak trust. People rebuild trust all the time. Not like this. Not after this level of betrayal. Every time I look at you, I'll think about him. Every time you're late coming home, I'll wonder if you're really at work. Every time your phone buzzes, I'll wonder if it's him or the next him, because there will be a next one. Maybe not right away, maybe not for years, but eventually you'll get bored again. You'll find someone new, someone exciting, and you'll do this all over again." "I wouldn't." "You would, because that's who you are. You're a person who destroys things when they stop being exciting, and I refuse to spend the rest of my life waiting for you to destroy me again." She put her head in her hands, sobbed, full, broken sobs. I sat there, drinking my coffee, waiting. After a few minutes, she looked up. "So that's it? We're really done?" "We're done." "What happens now?" "You file for divorce. We split everything. You move on with your life. I move on with mine." "Just like that?" "Just like that. You don't feel anything? No anger, no sadness, nothing?" "I felt all of that already, for months, while you were lying to me, while you were with him, while you were planning to leave. I processed it all already. Now I'm just tired." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." "I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix this." I stood up, put on my jacket. "Wait," she said. "That's it? You're leaving? Your hour is up. Trevor, please? Goodbye, Amanda." I walked out, got in my truck, drove away. In the rearview mirror, I could see her standing in the parking lot, watching me leave, crying, but I didn't stop, didn't turn around, didn't look back, because I was done, finally, completely done. Monday morning, I went back to work. Normal routine, normal life, like the last few weeks had never happened. My supervisor asked if everything was okay with my family emergency. I said yes. He didn't push for details. I spent the day fixing a boiler in the basement. Methodical work, the kind that keeps your hands busy and your mind clear. Around lunch, I got an email from a law firm, Marks & Richardson, divorce attorneys. "Mr. Patterson, we've been retained by Amanda Patterson regarding dissolution of marriage. Please have your attorney contact us at your earliest convenience." So she'd actually done it, filed for divorce, made it official. Good. I forwarded the email to a lawyer I'd already consulted last week. I'd been prepared for this. That afternoon I checked Eric's Instagram. He'd posted something new. Photo of himself at the gym, looking determined. Caption: "New chapter, new focus. Cutting out toxic people and building something real." The comments were supportive. People congratulating him on his maturity, his growth, his strength. If they only knew. I didn't like the post. Didn't comment. Just closed the app. Around 4 p.m., I drove past Fitness First. Just to see. Just to check. Eric's Jeep was in the parking lot. New tires. He was back to his routine, back to training clients, back to his life. But something was different. I could see it even from across the street. He looked over his shoulder a lot, checked his phone constantly, seemed jumpy, nervous. The complaints had done their job. Even if management had dismissed them, they'd planted seeds of doubt, made him question whether people were watching, whether his reputation was damaged, whether someone would file a formal complaint. He'd spend months looking over his shoulder, wondering, worrying, never quite feeling safe again. That was enough for me. I drove home, made dinner, ate in front of the TV. My phone rang. Karen. I almost didn't answer, but I did. "Hello? Trevor, it's Karen." "Hi, Karen. I wanted to let you know that Amanda moved back home with me. She's not doing well." "I'm sorry to hear that." "She filed for divorce." "I know. I got the email." "She's devastated. She barely leaves her room, won't eat, won't talk to anyone. That's unfortunate." "Trevor, I know you're hurt. I know she betrayed you, but she's falling apart, and I'm worried about her." "She'll be fine. She always is." "Will she? Because right now she's not fine. Right now she's broken." "Then maybe she should have thought about that before she destroyed her marriage." Silence. "You're a hard man," Karen said quietly. "No, I'm just a man who's done being lied to." "Is there anything I can say that would make you reconsider? Any way you could find it in your heart to forgive her?" "No. Not even for... No. The answer is no. I'm sorry she's hurting. I'm sorry she's struggling. But that's not my responsibility anymore. She made her choices. Now she gets to live with them." "I see. Karen, I appreciate you calling. I really do. But Amanda is an adult. She made adult decisions. Now she gets adult consequences. That's how life works." "I suppose you're right. Take care of yourself. And tell Amanda. Tell her I hope she finds what she's looking for. Just not with me." "I will. Goodbye, Trevor." "Goodbye." I hung up, put my phone on silent, finished my dinner. That night I slept better than I had in months. No nightmares, no anxiety, no wondering where Amanda was or what she was doing or who she was with. Just sleep. Deep, dreamless sleep. Tuesday morning, I packed up the last of Amanda's things. The stuff she'd left behind, Clothes, books, pictures, put it all in boxes, taped them shut, stacked them by the door, texted her mom, "Amanda's things are packed. Let me know when you want to pick them up." Karen responded an hour later. "I'll come by Thursday afternoon if that works." That works? Thursday afternoon, Karen showed up with Amanda's brother. They loaded the boxes into a truck. Didn't say much, didn't ask questions, just took the boxes and left. "Thank you," Karen said before leaving. "And Trevor?" "Yeah? For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Amanda needs to learn that actions have consequences. Maybe this will teach her." "Maybe." They left. I closed the door, looked around the empty apartment. It was really over. No more Amanda. No more lies. No more wondering. No more pain. Just me. And the life I was going to build. The one where I didn't have to check my wife's phone, didn't have to wonder who she was texting, didn't have to watch her smile at someone else's messages. I felt lighter. Friday morning, I went to work. Normal day, fixed a door lock on the second floor, updated some access codes, had lunch with a coworker who'd been asking me to join him for weeks. "You seem different," he said. "Lighter." "Do I?" "Yeah, more relaxed. What changed?" "Everything," I said. Everything changed. That evening, I drove past Fitness First One last time, just to close the loop. Eric was there, working with a client. Through the window, I could see him counting reps, smiling, playing the part of motivational trainer, but I could also see the tension in his shoulders, the way he kept glancing toward the door, the way he checked his phone between sets. He was damaged. Not destroyed, but damaged. Enough to remember. Enough to think twice before getting involved with another married woman. Enough to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life. And Amanda? Amanda had lost everything. Her marriage, her lover, her stability, her safety net. She'd spend months, maybe years, trying to put herself back together, trying to figure out where it all went wrong, trying to understand why she'd destroyed something good for something temporary. Maybe she'd learn. Maybe she wouldn't. Either way, it wasn't my problem anymore. I drove home, parked my truck, walked into my apartment. My apartment, not ours. Mine. I made dinner, watched TV, went to bed early, and for the first time in a long time, I felt at peace, because I'd done what I needed to do. I'd stood up for myself. I'd refused to be a victim. I'd refused to accept lies and betrayal and disrespect. I'd taken control of my life, and that was enough. Saturday morning, I woke up early, made coffee, sat at the table with my laptop, opened my document. Patterns. Phase 2. Phase 3. Read through everything I'd written, everything I'd documented, every step I'd taken. Then I deleted it all. Every file, every note, every piece of evidence. I didn't need it anymore. Didn't need to hold on to the anger. Didn't need to remember every detail of how they'd betrayed me. It was over. They'd paid. I'd moved on. That was enough.